Mom, you shouldn't say that. I didn't send you money because I'm excessively rich. I just found a good job. I know Unity is in high school now, and you'll need a lot of money. Mother once again rebuked Elsa for spreading her money around. Don't worry, I'm fine. Better worry about Dad. By the way, how is he feeling now? Elsa found it difficult to talk to her relatives on the phone because there was always someone behind the wall. Mom, I'll call you back a little later. Elsa hung up the phone. The noise behind the wall was unbearable. How many times can you mock me? Well, who decided to do repairs on their day off? Elsa slammed her fist on the wall several times. Did you stay up again? Was your neighbor making noise again? Why don't you talk to him? Monica asked the girl. Elsa had been going to her neighbor's house for several days, but he didn't open the door. The girl even attached a note to his door. She asked the neighbor to be more tactful because the walls in the house are too thin. You can hear absolutely everything. And the best part is, I can hear the neighbor walking back and forth in the apartment. He even has his phone playing. I know there's someone in the apartment, but the neighbor pretends like he can't hear me. Welcome, Elsa. Just get caught and I'll have you. Elsa squeezed the cocktail straw with force. Maybe you should move out of that apartment for a while. Monica looked fearfully at her friend. I'd love to move out, but I don't know where. Renting an apartment is quite expensive now. I don't have any extra money, Elsa admitted. Listen, why are you avoiding Ben? I mean, he's always trying to flirt with you. He even bought this coffee and asked me to bring it to you. Monica handed her friend a plastic cup. I'm not drinking that coffee. Elsa handed her friend back the cup. I knew you'd say no. You said we'd do it together. You've been avoiding me for days now, you traitor. Even Ben is desperate. Let's just go with him, Monica suggested. You know I'm not comfortable around Ben. What's this about all of a sudden? Have you become close to him? Isn't it because he's the head of the student council? What's going on between you two then? Monica peppered her friend with questions. To be honest, I'm not really up to seeing my friends right now. My dad was in a car accident recently. He got some injuries, broke 2 arms, but luckily he's doing well for now. So what do we do now? Your dad's a chef. What's going to happen to the cafe? Will it have to close for a while? Monica exclaimed in surprise. So why did you keep quiet and say nothing about what happened? It's not the kind of news you want to share with your friends. And even if I told you everything, it wouldn't change anything. But I'm really doing fine now. Don't worry about me. Elsa was pleased that her friend cared about her, but she was used to dealing with her own problems. I'm sorry, I have to go. I'm going to an interview for a new job today, said Elsa, rising from her seat. This vacancy was offered to Elsa by Ben. The girl did not want to accept any help from him, but at the moment she was in no position to be capricious. She needed a new job. The woman was looking at Elsa's resume. She was very beautiful. Most likely this woman worked as a model or actress. Aren't you looking at me too closely? Suddenly the woman asked. Oh, I apologize. I was staring at you because you are very beautiful, Elsa admitted. Since you were recommended to us by Ben, I'm sure you're a reliable person. But, you know, this job has some peculiarities. You have to keep it a secret that you work for us, not only from your friends and family, but from Ben himself. So what am I supposed to do? Elsa was slightly surprised by the woman's last words. Before I explain, I should tell you something important. Even if you turn down this job, you have to keep this a secret, okay? The woman asked. What kind of story did Ben get me into? Does this all sound very strange? Elsa thought to herself, but said aloud that she was ready to hear the terms. This may sound a little strange, but my son is not good with people. He's alone all the time. I want you to help him socialize with people and make sure he doesn't notice it. And if something happens, make sure you let me know about it. Here's a picture of my son. He's nice and polite. I think you'll be able to get in touch with him. He's recently returned to university, and his name is Gisbert Jones. The woman held out the photo card to Elsa. Your job is to bond with my son and teach him how to connect with the people around him. Only no one can know about this. If my son finds out about this, he will cut off communication immediately. Gisbert, you're a rather strange man. How am I supposed to find my way around? Maybe I shouldn't have agreed to this in the first place. But they offered me a pretty decent amount of money, so I shouldn't turn my nose up at such a fee. Elsa stared at the man in the photograph. When she came to her door, Elsa again heard noise coming from the neighbor's apartment. The girl decided to write another note. This time it would be a more serious warning. I can't take this noise every night anymore. The dark-haired boy read aloud. Oh, what are you doing outside someone else's apartment? The guy asked. Who are you anyway? Shouted Elsa fearfully. Moments later, the girl realized that Gisbert was standing in front of her. Well, now I definitely don't want to get involved with that man. It went through the girl's mind. Elsa couldn't hold the picture in her hands, and it fell to the floor. Gisbert looked closely at the fallen picture. Elsa hurriedly closed the picture with her foot. I suppose you're my neighbor, Elsa said with a serene smile. And why did you step on the picture? Gisbert asked in a calm voice. Damn, he did notice after all. We need to get a grip on ourselves as soon as possible and figure something out. I hope he didn't have time to see that it was his face in the picture. Thoughts swirled in Elsa's head. It's just an ordinary picture. There's nothing special about it. It shows nature, so don't pay attention to the picture. Elsa shamelessly began to lie. That's odd, and I saw a picture of a human in the picture, Gisbert said in the same calm voice. It's a celebrity. There's a celebrity in the picture. There's an actor in the middle of a thick forest thicket. Anyway, you're making me feel uncomfortable. I want you to be a little quieter, the girl said stammeringly. But I've never been noisy. And stop taping those strange notes to my door. Gisbert was indignant and tore a piece of paper off the door. And just so you know, I don't live here at all, said Gisbert and disappeared into the apartment. Now I'm in big trouble. Let's hope he didn't have time to look at the picture. Why on earth did I run into him here? Now the first impression is ruined. I don't know what to do. Elsa thought to herself sadly. The next morning, Elsa and Gisbert came out of their apartments at the same time. Hi, Elsa shouted loudly, but the guy ignored her. What a jerk. Why does he say he doesn't live here? Why did he spend the night here? And why does he claim to be quiet? Elsa glared at her neighbor's back. I'll follow him anyway, since it's my job from today. On top of that, he and I attend the same university. Strangely enough, I've never seen him before. How that idiot pisses me off. Why is he acting like this again? Monica, sitting next to him, was indignant. Can you believe it? I want to check my jacket size, but this guy keeps ignoring me. This person is the only one who doesn't come to school. And if we're going to take this to membership training, I need to approve the size today already. And who is this man? Elsa asked her friend. This boor and rude man's name is Gisbert Jones, but luckily you don't know him. You have no idea what an obnoxious man he is. I've gotten into a lot of trouble because of him, and he doesn't even go to university. And really, why doesn't Gisbert go to university? I've only just found out that he and I are on the same course. This guy was a real mystery to Elsa. Suddenly, Gisbert appeared in the doorway. He ignored his classmates and went to his seat. Elsa learned from her classmates that Gisbert had recently turned 23. After retaking the university entrance exam, he joined the army. After completing his service, Gisbert returned to the university. He had no contact with his classmates. After observing Gisbert, Elsa noticed that he didn't want to get into student life and preferred to eat lunch alone. It turns out that Gisbert likes solitude and is often in the university library. At recess, Gisbert preferred to doze off in the library. After examining Gisbert's behavior, Elsa understood why his parents were so concerned. The boy was indeed behaving very strangely. When Gisbert woke up, he saw the girl in front of him. He had absolutely no idea why she had been following him lately. Gisbert got up from the table and walked out of the library without saying a word. Gisbert's abandoned cell phone played on the table. Elsa took Gisbert's cell phone and went in search of the guy. You should have called me when you got back to the university. I didn't even know you were in town, said Ben to Gisbert. "But we've never been real friends, so why should you and I maintain a relationship? How about in the future, pretending like we don't know each other?" Gisbert asked with a slight smile. "I see nothing changes in your life, but it's for the best. You don't know anyone in your group yet, do you? We have a meeting today. Come if you have time. Your mom's worried about you being alone again." Ben wasn't confused by his buddy's words. "Hey, were you the one who told her something weird about me again? Why are people prying into my personal life? I have people close to me and even a few friends. I have enough socializing with them. I don't need anyone else." Gisbert explained his position in life. "I'm happy for you, but know that if you ever need help, you can feel free to come to me. I'll always be there for you. I can also take you to a coffee shop or a movie whenever you want me to." Ben persisted. Elsa was watching this conversation. She wondered if Gisbert was telling the truth. Did he really have friends? "Would you like me to prove to you that I have close acquaintances? There are people I socialize with, and this girl is here right now." Gisbert went on to tell Ben. "There she is." Suddenly, Gisbert pointed his hand toward Elsa. "I know this girl. She's in my class. And here we meet again. Can you help me out a little? Pretend we know each other, and I'll pretend like I don't notice you've been following me around for days." Leaning toward the girl, whispered Gisbert. "You mean you know Elsa well?" Ben wondered. "Yes, you're right. This girl's name is Elsa." Gisbert took his phone from the girl's hands. "I forgot my phone in the library, and Elsa came here to give it back to me." Gisbert showed Ben his phone. "If you think meeting Elsa is going to help you in any way, you are sorely mistaken. You still need to come to the student assembly tonight. If you don't, I'll tell your mother that you refuse to socialize with your classmates." "No, what a parasite! Taking advantage of me in such a sneaky way," Elsa thought to herself. "Hey, if you're done using me, let's talk about what you said to me earlier. What kind of nonsense was that? And when did I ever stalk you?" Elsa exclaimed indignantly once she and Gisbert were alone. "Did you know that you and I are in the same course? We've bumped into each other a couple times at the university, in the library, and even in the entrance of the house. And now I was looking for you to return your cell phone. I hate to hear that I'm stalking you. That's absolutely not true." "Okay, let's get you more formally acquainted. My name is Gisbert. Or do you already know my name?" asked the guy, leaning toward Elsa. "Thank you for coming to the student assembly work harder during this semester, and you will achieve high results," loudly exclaimed the local ringleader. Elsa had absolutely no idea why Gisbert had invited her and you to this student meeting. Did he really want to show Ben that he had acquaintances at the university? Or was he just looking for friends? "You look tired. If it's because I called you to come with me, I won't apologize," Gisbert warned the girl. "If you need a friend," Elsa started to say, but Gisbert quickly shut her mouth. He gave the girl a bite from a chicken leg. "You misunderstood the situation, so stop talking," Gisbert said in a quiet voice. Look at him sweetly feeding her chicken. Are they really dating? Elsa kept telling me she didn't have a boyfriend. Was she lying to me? I'll have to talk to her about it sometime. She rips off a handsome guy like that and doesn't say a word. The classmates gossiped amongst themselves. "Ben, how are you reacting to Elsa being so intimate with Gisbert?" Kevin asked his buddy. "And why should I react to that in any way? There's nothing between me and Elsa." Ben tried to feign a happy smile. "But because I know you like Elsa, it hurts me to see another guy being nice to her. I can only imagine how uncomfortable it must be for you," Kevin said in a sad voice. "Look, I know you're new to our university. Why don't we have a drink together?" Two girls approached the table where Elsa and Gisbert were sitting. "And he is quite popular after all. I wonder why he doesn't want to use his looks. If he had the desire, he'd be surrounded by a large entourage of ladies in love." Elsa noted to herself that Gisbert was quite handsome. "I don't drink, and you shouldn't sit down at our table," replied Gisbert to the girls. Why did he just blow those girls away? Don't tell me he's doing it on purpose. He's really very strange. Elsa was extremely surprised at what was happening. Amazing things are happening at this table. This morning, Elsa said she didn't know this guy, and now they're cooing like they've known each other for years. I wonder what these two have in common. When did they become friends already? Monica kept her gaze on Gisbert. And why does that crazy woman won't stop staring at me? Gisbert looked intently into Monica's eyes. Let's drive home together since we're going one way anyway. I don't want to go home alone. I'm bored, suggested Elsa Gisbert. Well, you said you didn't live in that apartment, didn't you? Elsa resented. Yeah, I don't live in that apartment, but I'm going there now. It's my friend's house, replied Gisbert to the girl. Oh, just don't lie. I know you have absolutely no friends. Let's be honest with each other from now on. And by the way, if you're bored, you can make friends at any time. Would you like me to be your friend? What makes you decide to be my friend all of a sudden? Gisbert asked with some suspicion. Elsa had to improvise. The girl said that she didn't have many friends in her life, first of all, and secondly, she was bored to go to school alone. All right, let's try to be friends with you. I enjoy spending time with you. You're contentedly cheerful and smart. I'm not bored with you. Gisbert confessed to the girl. Elsa was pleasantly surprised to hear such words. The girl didn't expect that this strange guy could give compliments. You know what I liked about this evening? When you found out I didn't drink, you kept pouring plain water into my shot glass all night. It was really nice. But by the way, I actually tricked those girls. I'm quite the drinker sometimes. With a cheerful smile, Gisbert admitted to the girl. By the way, your roommate asked me to keep my voice down, said Gisbert to Chandler. But I only got home a week ago, and I've been pretty quiet. It's probably the upstairs neighbors making noise. By the way, why do you look so happy? Inquired the mate to Gisbert. It's just that some pretty funny things have been happening in my life lately. Recently, a girl started looking out for me like you. Told his buddy Gisbert. You think she works for your stepmother? More like yes than no. That girl is acting pretty weird. She's constantly trying to keep me in her sights. For that reason, I've gotten the strong feeling that she's stalking me. Gisbert confessed to his buddy. When she got home, Elsa sent Miss Jones a report on the previous day. She told the woman that she had befriended her son and even attended a student assembly with him. The girl immediately had money sent to her card. Miss Jones explained that it was just an advance. She asked Elsa to make sure that Gisbert didn't miss any classes. The job is certainly not difficult, but it's rather mucky. As an advance payment, I got a month's salary as a barista on my card. Hopefully, I'll continue to do well. Elsa muttered with a heavy sigh. But am I doing the right thing by making money this way? Doesn't it look mean? But on the other hand, I really need the money, so I shouldn't give up this job. But Elsa's happiness did not last long. The next day, Gisbert did not come to the university. He had missed classes for a week, and no one knew where he was. Elsa could not explain anything to Miss Jones. This situation was extremely upsetting for the girl. I should get Gisbert's phone number somewhere and contact him. I wonder if anyone at school knows his phone number. Who is his real friend? Or at least who he's close to? Elsa wondered. Monica, you're the chairperson of our group, so you should be up to date on all the latest developments. Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm really curious as to why Gisbert stopped attending class. Do you know anything about it? Asked Elsa to her friend. And why are you asking me this? What got you hooked on this guy? Since when did you become close to him? Monica exclaimed angrily. What makes you think we're in some kind of relationship? I'm asking as his classmate. Maybe you know his number. I'll call him myself and ask him why he's not attending school. Somewhere deep in her heart, Elsa realized that it would be hard to hide her secret from her friend. You always said you weren't interested in dating. How can you act like that? I don't know what happened between you two in such a short time, but I don't think he seems like the kind of person who would hide his number. Here, I found it. Monica dictated the phone number. Just keep in mind, this guy is pretty weird. He acts extremely inappropriate at times. Be careful with him. Anyway, I'll talk to you a little later. I have things to do. Elsa noticed Ben in the crowd. She remembered that he was a friend of Gisbert's. She decided to invite Ben to the cafe to find out more about his friend. Ben, thanks to you, I got a part-time job, so let me treat you to something delicious. I noticed you know Gisbert. You wouldn't happen to know his phone number, would you? Unfortunately, no. Why do you need his number? And can I ask you one more question? How long have you been in contact with Gisbert? The girl felt awkward around Ben, but she had no other choice. She had to find Gisbert as soon as possible. His mother was worried about him. You see, just recently I found out that Gisbert is my neighbor. He's always knocking at night. He won't open the door for me, so I decided to harass him with phone calls. Now I'm looking for his number. Elsa decided to explain her sudden interest in Gisbert. Well, that sounds a lot like my buddy, but I didn't realize he lived alone. I guess that's why his mother is so worried about him. I've known Gisbert for a long time, and I know his family. We used to be good friends, but something bad happened a while ago. Elsa, to be honest, I don't feel like talking about Gisbert. Rather tell me, do you have any questions for me personally? You don't want to communicate with me because you're still uncomfortable? Are you still worried about what happened? Ben asked unexpectedly. Some time ago, Elsa ran into Ben at work. He accidentally overheard her conversation on the phone. Elsa wanted to hide that conversation from outsiders, so she was embarrassed that Ben knew the details of her private life. I don't want you to worry too much about it. It's fine. That's why I'm not bringing it up. I really hope that the next time we meet, you will ask questions regarding me, said Ben and got up from his seat. Now that we've covered everything, we can go back to the university. Gisbert has disappeared and I'm about to be fired. The phone number Monica had given me was invalid, and I couldn't find another one among my classmates. I sent my advance to my mom, and now I can't ask for it back. What am I supposed to do in this situation? When she got home, Elsa decided to ring the neighbor's doorbell again. It is better to do strange things than to wait to be fired. As expected, no one's home. No surprise there. Just as Elsa reached her door, the door to her neighbor's apartment swung open abruptly. "Hey, did you miss me?" asked a sleepy Gisbert. "Not that I missed you too much. It's just that I hadn't seen you in a while, and I was getting worried. I was worried if you were even alive." The girl started to justify herself. "Is that the only reason? Or is there something else?" Gisbert asked and smirked slyly. "Anyway, I was just wondering how you were doing, and I'm glad you're alive. I'll see you tomorrow at the university," Elsa exclaimed and quickly skipped into her apartment. When she got home, without undressing, Elsa fell on her bed. The girl howled with despair. Every day, being near Gisbert, she began to feel more and more uncomfortable. "And I hear everything. I'm going to expose you. You'll have to tell me who you're working for." Gisbert smirked to himself and said quietly. Yesterday's situation bothered Elsa a lot. She guessed that the neighbor was not telling her something. He hadn't been home for a week. He had only returned to the apartment last night. Maybe he was waiting for her on purpose? Also, the girl was confused by the situation with the telephone. It seemed that Gisbert knew that Elsa would return it. Did he guess about her part-time job, so he built various traps for her? "So, were you able to find Gisbert's phone number?" Monica asked her friend. "I don't need it anymore." "Look, I want to give you some advice. Stop running after him, or he'll misunderstand you. He's the kind of guy who does whatever he wants. But know this, I don't like him." Monica once again tried to keep her friend out of trouble. "Elsa, hi. Is it true what they say about you looking for me? You probably want to talk to me about something?" A cheerful neighbor burst into the classroom. "Gisbert, I was glad to see you at the university today, but I have to run. I'll talk to you next time." Elsa waved a hand at her neighbor. She didn't feel like socializing with him today. "Look, this is cruel of you. Why do you keep running away from me? Don't you want to socialize with me? Are you determined to avoid me?" Gisbert pulled the girl by her bag, not giving her a chance to leave. "And what makes you think I'm avoiding you? I'm just in a hurry to get home. I have things to do." Hurriedly, the girls answered him. "Well, this won't take long. You're my friend. I haven't seen you in a while, so I want to chat. Don't you want to give your friend at least a few minutes?" "So what do you want to talk about?" Hurry up and talk. I don't have any extra time to waste. Elsa's heart was racing. She was afraid that Gisbert was about to broach the subject of her part-time job. Okay, I'll be straightforward. You're looking out for me, right? At first, I thought it was all a coincidence, but then I had my doubts. And then today, I heard you were trying to find me, Gisbert said in a serious tone. Stop lying to me. Let's be honest with each other. Did my mother hire you? Is your role to look after me? Elsa was dejectedly silent. She knew that if she lost this part-time job, she would have to return the advance payment. She knew that if she lost this part-time job, she would have to return the advance payment. I wasn't looking out for you. Didn't you notice the eyes I was looking at you with? Ever since that moment, and we met in front of the house, I've had some kind of feelings for you. You might say I fell in love with you at first sight. Elsa hated to lie, but there was no other choice. I never thought I'd have to confess my feelings to you like this, but since you insist, I'll have it your way. To be honest, I'm really embarrassed right now. She must be joking with me. How can she lie so shamelessly? I wonder how long Elsa is going to keep up this show. Gisbert's amazement was unbounded. Oh, I get it. I didn't know about your feelings, so I'm sorry for pushing you. In that case, do you want to date me? Since Elsa didn't give up, Gisbert decided to play this game as well. Are you crazy? Elsa exclaimed in surprise. The girl didn't expect this situation to go this far. I mean, I'm just blown away with happiness. Elsa hurriedly pulled herself together. If she refused to date, the guy might suspect something wrong. That's good. Then we should get to know each other better. Do you think it's better to have lunch together first or go to the movies? Also, we can go to the university together tomorrow. How about we go out after class? We need to spend as much time together as possible. Elsa watched with a bored look a detective movie she had no interest in. That evening, Gisbert had dragged her to the movie theater. Elsa knew that her neighbor had guessed her game long ago. The only thing she didn't understand was why he was also involved in this game. Elsa thought that the guy would ignore her after his declaration of love, but it didn't go according to plan. Every day, Elsa berated herself for not finding the strength to tell the truth. And you and I saw a pretty funny movie. Did you notice what a tragic fate the main character had? He was constantly deceived by the girl he loved. I don't understand why you should cheat on someone you love. Shared his impressions of the movie, Gisbert. And I don't think this movie is funny. I've seen it a bunch of times. And it happens in real life. It's not new. So let's hurry home. The girl understood what Gisbert was implying, but decided to ignore his words. Why are you in such a hurry to get home? Let's go to the cafe some more? Gisbert stopped the girl, taking her by the shoulder. And I have a part-time job tonight, so I can't go to the cafe with you, Elsa exclaimed with the most joyful smile on earth. Fine, then let's go to that cafe you moonlight at. The girl's words didn't confuse Gisbert at all. Look at that. That's our Elsa. And there's Gisbert walking next to her. Are they really dating? As luck would have it, there was a huge number of classmates in the cafe. They were happily discussing the newly formed couple. After I finish my coffee, I need to start working. My boss is already looking at me askew as it is, said Elsa to Gisbert. The guy replied to her that he would dial her a little later. Suddenly, the owner of the cafe came to the table and put a chocolate cake on the table. The woman announced that it was on the house. You're such a cute couple, you must be dating, the woman asked with a smile. You are right. There are indeed feelings between us, replied the woman to Gisbert. Why are you telling everyone that we're in a relationship? How can you say things like that without discussing it with me first? Elsa asked irritably as the cafe hostess stepped away from their table. Didn't I say the truth? I'm dating you because you said you liked me. Yes, I confessed my liking for you, but I didn't force you to date me, did I? Why do you keep seeing me if you're not interested in me? Elsa continued angrily. But you started all this first, didn't you? Did you really think your lies would work on me? I only wanted to teach you a lesson. I'm already sick of your lies. Admit it. Did you pretend to love me because of a part-time job? Gisbert asked the girl in a calm voice. If you didn't want to get caught cheating, you should have faked it better. Now bear with it. You wanted to make easy money. So why are you complaining now? You're absolutely right. I did it for a part-time job, the girl admitted. She was hurt by Gisbert's words, so she promised him revenge. Only she had to act cunningly, so that this time he wouldn't guess. Well, you see how easy it is to tell the truth. Why didn't you do it before? Why did you wait so long? You're right again. We should have ended this a long time ago. We won't be seeing you again. I don't want to be your suspect anymore, so goodbye. If she was going to confess everything so quickly, why didn't she confess from the beginning? And why did she leave without listening to me? I feel like I've done something wrong right now. Gisbert decided to analyze the situation. It's fine, though. She tried to fool me first, so why am I even worrying about it? Suddenly, Gisbert heard a woman crying behind the wall. You're back in my house? Why aren't you going to your place? Chandler walked into the room. You make it sound like this house really belongs to you. But remember, you only live here because of me. How thin the walls are in this house. I can even hear a girl crying behind the next wall. I saw her on the way here, by the way. I met her in the elevator. She was upset about something. Landlord Chandler told his buddy. Does she really like me and our breakup broke her heart? Gisbert wondered, looking at the wall. You're scum! A real piece of trash! How could you do this to me? The cries were mixed with insults. Our neighbor is too noisy. Maybe we should admonish her, Chandler muttered. Gisbert hurried to stop him. He didn't want Chandler hanging out with Elsa. Let me go. I want to go over to our neighbor's house. She said we were noisy, and now she's being too loud herself. I want to talk to her about it. Maybe you shouldn't talk to a girl who's upset about something. Maybe you should pick some other day to socialize. Gisbert didn't know how else to stop Chandler. Who are you? The crying girl asked Chandler. Your voice sounds familiar to me. Have we never met before? Maybe crossed paths somewhere? Chandler exclaimed in surprise. The girl took off her hood. Monica stood in front of Chandler. I was too noisy, I'm sorry. Tears flowed down the girl's cheeks again. Yeah, I shouldn't have come here today. This girl is obviously upset about something. Maybe she has problems in her personal life? Chandler thought to himself and handed the girl a candy bar. When you're feeling down, eat this candy. It will help you cheer up and calm down. Stop crying. Everything will be all right. Monica, I know how to fix the situation. I bought us some chicken and some alcohol. It'll help you come to your senses. A cheerful Elsa entered the apartment. Just so you know, while you were gone, your neighbor came by. He asked me to be quiet, and then he gave me candy. He said it would make me feel better when I ate it, said Monica to her friend. I can't figure out what's happened to you this time. Did you have another fight with your boyfriend? Elsa asked her friend. We broke up, Monica replied and burst into tears again. Monica told Elsa that she saw her boyfriend holding some girl's hand and complimenting her. He, of course, told me afterward that it was a friendly joke, but I know it's a hoax. Do friends hold hands like that? So he also told the girl that he liked her. That sure doesn't sound like a joke to me. Monica resented. That rascal should be taught a lesson. I'll avenge him for you the first chance I get. For now, forget about him and enjoy your life. Know that he has lost a great deal, soothed her friend Elsa. I still can't believe he could do this to me. I look like a real fool, Monica cried uncontrollably. Elsa also wanted to have a relationship with someone, but she couldn't afford it at the moment. She had a difficult situation at home. Her father was in the hospital, so a lot of money was needed. Elsa promised herself that as soon as her father recovered, she would definitely find a handsome and smart guy. But in the meantime, she needed to earn money for his treatment. The next morning, Gisbert met Elsa at the store. The girl's face was swollen. He thought it was because she had cried all night. He didn't know that the girl had listened to her friend's suffering and drank beer all night. What happened to your face? The guy asked, surprised. If you want to pick a fight with me, you're not going to get anywhere. I'm in a bit of a bad mood today. The girl answered him. And why are you looking at me anyway? You don't want to hang out with me, so don't hang out with me. Let me buy you something for lunch and we'll part as friends. I suggest you don't hang out anymore. It will be better for both of us. Elsa offered to pay for Gisbert's purchases so she wouldn't feel indebted to him. Look, why don't we have lunch together? Gisbert suggested. The guy still thought that Elsa had cried last night, so he felt guilty. He felt bad that he had upset the girl. Lunch? You must have misunderstood me. I asked you to pick something from the store. I would have paid for your purchases. What makes you suddenly decide to ask me to take you out to lunch? The girl realized that she simply couldn't financially afford lunch at a restaurant. You're the one who misunderstood me. I'm inviting you to lunch, said Gisbert to the girl, but she turned him down. The guy figured it was all from her feeling uncomfortable around him. Elsa got a message on her phone from Miss Jones. The woman asked for a meeting. The girl did not want to see Miss Jones because she would have to admit that she had broken off the relationship with her son. The girl wanted to ask Miss Jones for an installment plan. She would certainly repay her advance, but in installments. This part-time job was beyond me. Next time I'll be more responsible in finding a job. Elsa promised herself. Theodore promised himself that today he would definitely invite Elsa to lunch. He gathered his courage and gently touched the girl's hand. Elsa, if you don't mind, can you have dinner with me? Don't get me wrong, I heard you haven't eaten yet. Theodore suggested to the girl in a quiet voice. She's having lunch with me today. You'll have lunch with her next time, Gisbert said in a displeased voice. Theodore, that's a great idea. Let's have lunch together. Elsa decided to ignore Gisbert's words. Well, I don't know now. Maybe next time? Theodore said in a hesitant voice and scurried out of the room. Why do you keep prying into my life? What if I don't want to have lunch with you? The girl exclaimed indignantly. Have you decided to have lunch together? Elsa and Gisbert were approached by Monica. But you mustn't do that! I'm against it! Elsa, you told me yesterday that Gisbert rejected you, so why haven't you blown him off yet? Why do you keep on coddling him? Monica shouted angrily. A classmate came up to Monica and gently pulled her aside. They asked the girl to mind her own business. Okay, I'll have lunch with you, but just one last time. After that, it's definitely over. Our relationship is over. Elsa agreed. What if I don't want this to be the last time? Gisbert asked unexpectedly. Look, is it true what they say about Gisbert going back to school? Asked Bradley to Ben. The latter answered his buddy that it was indeed true. I still can't believe things worked out so well for that asshole. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Let's try to spin that story again. Maybe it'll be a hit and I'll have a sea of followers, suggested Bradley to his friend. I don't think you should. It's all in the past. And I believe Gisbert didn't mean to do that. There's no need to defend him. That asshole is only pretending to be good. By the way, you're the one Gisbert hated the most. Why don't we make a video and call it Life of a Bully? I believe it'll break viewing records. Monica had written Elsa several messages already, but the girl still hadn't replied to her. Monica was worried that Gisbert would hurt her friend. She thought he was an extremely dangerous guy. He was withdrawn, quiet, and aloof. In a word, a real psycho. Monica, why aren't you going home? Did you decide to spend the night at school? Ben walked up to the girl. Ben, do you have a girlfriend? Monica is suddenly struck with a brilliant idea. She would find her friend the perfect guy. Ben was the best candidate. He had a good reputation, great manners, and a wealthy family. No, I don't have a girlfriend. Why do you ask? Do you want to buy me lunch? No, I don't want to take you to lunch. How would you feel about taking Elsa to dinner? Do you like her at all? What do you think of her? Monica continued to pile on the questions. And you're a pretty straightforward girl. You say what you think without being embarrassed. And about your friend, I like her. She's quite nice and smart. Why are you asking me about Elsa? Elsa can get obsessed with some pretty strange things. I only want her to pay attention to good things. And somehow, I think you're interested in her, too. I think you'd be perfect for her. Is it really so obvious that I like Elsa? I'm really interested in her, but she's not comfortable with me, Ben confessed to Monica. And to be frank, your friend is pretty complicated. She's not interested in dating, so she's built a solid, impregnable wall around herself. And you want me to help you get closer to Elsa. Elsa, I suggest we leave things as they are. It will benefit us both, said Gisbert to the girl. No, let this be our last meal. And by the way, I'm willing to pay for it myself. I don't want to owe anyone. Why are you acting like this? Know that I don't hate you. I brought you here because I wanted to give you a treat. I want to apologize to you for forcing you to admit that you're moonlighting. And I wasn't angry about the part-time job at all. I was just in a similar situation. There was a time when I was wandering the streets. I didn't care if my parents were worried about me or not. At some point, people started getting part-time jobs with my stepmother. They tried to befriend me, watched my every move, and then told my stepmother the details of my life. When you confessed to me that you had a part-time job, I also assumed you were working for my stepmother. Turns out you're moonlighting as a waiter at the cafe. I misunderstood you. But I do work for his stepmother. He's the one misunderstanding the situation right now. Elsa's mind raced. Why are you telling me all this now? It's over between us. I don't want to continue the relationship. Elsa didn't want to continue deceiving Gisbert. I heard you crying yesterday. After that, I realized the meaning of everything you did. You didn't do all that because of a part-time job, but because of your heart. That's why I thought you really liked me. After hearing this, Elsa was speechless. She did not know whether to tell Gisbert the truth. She did not want to admit to him that he was greatly mistaken. Wait, stop for a minute. I see what you mean. But it's all so sudden and confusing. Can you give me some time to think about it? Elsa needed a few days to analyze the situation. So I was right? Did you really cry yesterday because of me? Gisbert asked the girl in a quiet voice. You were exposed after all? Miss Jones asked, surprised. I've been exposed, but not quite. Elsa tried to explain the situation. I've invited you here today to discuss some details of the contract. I want to chat with you about basic observations, additional observations, and penalties. Miss Jones liked the report Elsa provided, but still wanted to back up. I don't think anything terrible is going to happen, but these are documents we'd better sign. It's a contract, so it'll be hard to get out of it if anything happens. But as long as you do everything right, nothing bad will happen to you. I have a favor to ask of you. I think you're going to need to go to all the student meetings soon. That way you'll get more in touch with Gisbert. But I want to tell you something. I want to give up this part-time job. This job was no longer to Elsa's liking. Not only did she constantly have to keep an eye on Gisbert, but she was also required to sign a contract. And why do you want to give up this job? Miss Jones wondered. I feel guilty, like I'm doing something bad for no apparent reason. And it scares me that your son knows about this part-time job. I wasn't the first person around him to behave this way. It's going to be hard for me to cheat on him anymore. Does my son really know what's going on? I never would have thought of that. We'll have to look into it somehow, Miss Jones said thoughtfully. Your son supports me, and I feel like I'm burdening him. The only thing is, I've developed a problem. I've already used all the money I received as an advance, so I won't be able to pay it back right away. I'm asking you for some time. You want to leave because you feel sorry for my son. Do I understand you correctly? Of course I'm sorry you're leaving. But keep in mind, my son won't be left unattended. I will definitely find a replacement for you. I want to commend your son. He's a real good boy. You're worrying about him for nothing. I believe that if he keeps behaving like this, he's bound to make just a huge number of friends. Elsa was glad they had ended on a good note. Elsa, you see, I think all these changes in my son are because of you, and I'd really like you to continue to communicate with him. It wouldn't hurt you or him. Let's do you like this. You'll only hang out with my son for this semester, and then do as you please. And I have a nice bonus for you. If you encourage my son to go to the student assembly this week, I'll put a tidy sum of money on your card. Of course, a round sum Elsa could not refuse. But I have one condition. Your son and I will be the only one in contact. You will no longer look for people to look after him." Elsa wanted to protect Gisbert at least a little from his stepmother's overprotective care. "Since I decided to do this part-time job, I'll help Gisbert make friends. He won't be lonely. But there's one problem. He's totally out of touch with his classmates." Elsa pondered to herself. "I have become a slave to money. I pretend to be a fool in love for a tidy sum, and I still have to get Gisbert to the meetings somehow." With impotent anger and resentment, Elsa banged her head against the locker. "Is that your way of breaking into a metal locker?" asked Gisbert, who had appeared next to the girl. "You've been scaring me a lot lately. I get the impression you've started following me." The girl confessed to Gisbert. "Gisbert, would you like to come with me to the student assembly?" Elsa gave me a pleading look. "I don't want to." "But why not? The event will be held on Friday night. It'll be a lot of fun. And on top of that, if we go there together, we'll be able to bond. We'll also be able to socialize with other people. There will even be freshmen at the gathering." "That all sounds very nice, but I still don't want to." Gisbert was adamant. "Well, what did I expect? I knew ahead of time he wasn't going anywhere, so I shouldn't be surprised." Elsa thought sadly to herself. Gisbert would love to go to the meeting, but he has a family dinner scheduled for Friday. His relatives would hate it if he missed the meeting. Well, where's he been hanging around again? He hasn't been home in a month. Sometimes I think he's forgotten his way home. Gisbert's father, Mr. Jones, raged. "If this keeps up, I'll simply block his card." "But he hasn't used his card in a very long time," said Mr. Jones to his private secretary. Mr. Lloyd was also Gisbert's maternal uncle. "And where does he get the money from then?" Mr. Jones wondered. "He wasn't like that before. In the past, Gisbert was a gentle and sweet boy. He never left home. What has happened to him?" Mr. Jones muttered thoughtfully. "I think there is an explanation for your son's behavior. There must be some reason." The secretary assumed to speak. "And what is the reason for his behavior? Do you have any guesses about it?" Mr. Jones's wife, Victoria, entered his office. "By the way, Mr. Lloyd, do you still not like me?" Victoria asked her husband's secretary. "What makes you think that?" "I just saw a student come out of the living room, and I think she came here for a reason. She has something to do with Gisbert. Sometimes I think you take an inordinate interest in Mr. Jones's son," replied the woman's secretary. "It sounds a little strange coming from you. A mother takes an inordinate interest in her son. I don't see why I would do anything to harm Gisbert. Or do you think that if I'm not his own mother, I would necessarily do him harm?" the woman asked the secretary. A car pulled up beside Gisbert. The boy peered through the ajar window. At the wheel of the automobile sat Secretary Lloyd. "Get in the car quickly. I need to talk to you," the secretary ordered. "First, give me back my card. I need it now, too. And by the way, I've noticed you've been spending too much lately. You're always going out to restaurants and leaving large sums of money. Can you believe I have a personal life? I now have someone to take to restaurants," Gisbert announced with a happy smile. "And secondly, you should visit your paternal home. Your father is already going crazy with worry." The secretary continued. "I don't know if I want to come home. Maybe it's time for me to live alone. I'm an adult now," answered the man Gisbert. "Of course, I'm not at liberty to tell you anything. I just want to ask you to attend a family meeting this week. And don't forget the family gathering will be held in honor of your birthday. Dad really wants to connect with you. Don't ignore him. All these activities my father does are just for himself, and he doesn't care about me at all. I don't see the point of going to family gatherings or coming home at all." With sadness in his voice, Gisbert said, "Please come to the family meeting this time. I can't cover for you anymore. Your father will be very angry if you don't show up. I have absolutely no idea how this is going to end." Gisbert was warned by his uncle. After talking to Lloyd's secretary, Gisbert was upset. He remembered that he had celebrated every birthday with his mother and had done so until her death. "It's my birthday today, and I don't even have anyone to call. I really don't have any friends. There are no people in my environment that I want to socialize with on this day. What are you thinking about? Elsa appeared next to Gisbert. Where did you come from? The boy wondered. Gisbert jumped up from his seat in fright. The boy and the girl hit their foreheads. Why did you jump up so abruptly? Were you frightened of me? The girl exclaimed. Well, how would you react? I was sitting here alone, relaxing, and you showed up out of nowhere. The guy started to justify himself. You shouldn't be sitting here alone. Get up. I want to buy you lunch. Elsa pulled her neighbor by the arm. Gisbert, why did you order a pizza and stick a candle in it? Is it some kind of holiday today? Elsa scrutinized the pizza. It's just that this is the first time you've decided to treat me, so I wanted to create a festive mood. The guy explained to the girl. Do we celebrate things like that? Well, if you want, we can celebrate it. The girl agreed. Okay, I confess it's my birthday today. Why didn't you tell me about this? We would have come up with some interesting activity, Elsa exclaimed. It's okay, you don't have to make anything up. I haven't celebrated my birthday for the last few years. I'm used to being alone. Today I wanted to eat alone too, but suddenly you showed up. Isn't it amazing? He's a bit strange today and looks extremely lonely. Why doesn't he want to celebrate his birthday? Is something wrong? Elsa thought to herself. I just wanted to take care of you. I've noticed that you eat alone all the time. Don't you even celebrate your birthday alone? And what would happen if I didn't find you? Next time you feel lonely, be sure to call me. Don't you remember? I promised to be your friend. Now you're not alone. You have me. I know you don't like it, but I can't help it. I'll take care of you so you'll get used to being treated kindly. Ha, you're so wonderful. So how do you plan to take care of me in the future? Gisbert laughed merrily. The girl sitting in front of him was extremely amusing to him. She was cute and direct. Thank you, Elsa, for the day, said Gisbert as he unlocked his apartment door. After some time, Gisbert heard a loud knock at the door. When the guy looked outside, he didn't see anyone. His gaze fell to the floor. On a large white box was a cake decorated with candles. There was a note attached to it. You'll definitely get through everything. Happy birthday! The note read, What's wrong with that girl? I told her I don't want to celebrate my birthday. I don't even want to become friends with her, grumbled Gisbert. Victoria received a message from Elsa. The girl wrote that she had managed to persuade Gisbert to attend a student meeting. And she's even smarter than I thought. How did she get him to go to the meeting? It's still great that I got involved with her. Victoria thought to herself. Honey, what are you going to do if your son doesn't show up for family night? Victoria asked her spouse. I'll take him off the family register. Her husband answered her dryly. I hope you're discussing me. Gisbert entered the room. You were quick to react. I must have sensed something wrong. If you hadn't come in today, I'd have taken you off the family register, said Mr. Jones. Dad, it's been so long since I've been home. Do you want to ask me how I'm doing? Gisbert took a seat in the vacant chair. And by the way, I came here to discuss a matter with you. I don't want to go home. I want to live my life on my own. I'm so sick of it. It's the same thing every year. You could do these things when you were young. I didn't care then, but now you're 23 years old. How long are you going to behave like this? There was weariness in his father's voice. But I want an independent life. That's why I studied hard and got into a good university. And can we stop pretending we're on good terms? You're right. I'm 23 years old. I already understand a lot of things in this life. Pretending we're on good terms? If I didn't do that, would you come home? You're the one drawing the line between us. You're the one pushing me away from you. Resented his father. Don't make it my fault. Remember, you've never been to my birthday party before. At first, I thought you were too busy at work so you couldn't come, but then I realized that you didn't really need Mom and me, replied Gisbert's father. And I don't want to go home just because it's not my home. It's yours, and it's always been that way. The only home I've ever had was the hospital where I was with my mom. Gisbert rose from his seat to leave. All right. If you don't like this house, you may not come back here, but before you do, give back everything this house gave you. Also, give back your uncle's card, said the father to his departing son. Sighing heavily, Gisbert threw his wallet on the table. Are you satisfied now? He asked his father. I shouldn't have gone to my father's today. Now I'm left without money and keys to the apartment. I should have waited a little longer. Where am I to sleep now? Gisbert thought to himself with annoyance. I think it's going to be really hard for you at first. Do you want me to help you? Gisbert hears Victoria's voice. I'd like to have your card, but you might demand too much in return. You're already overly interested in me. Gisbert replied to Victoria. I thought he wasn't coming today, but it's even better. He's so proud he's making it worse for himself. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Victoria pondered, looking at her stepson's back as he walked away. Gisbert decided to ask his uncle for money. He complained to Mr. Lloyd that he had absolutely no means of livelihood. He needs a small sum of money to enable him to get back on his feet. You know, I'm getting sick of it too. You're always fighting with your father, and then you come to me and ask me for money. Mr. Lloyd resented. Well, who knew it would turn out like this? I thought I'd tell my dad I wasn't coming home, and that would be the end of it. And I didn't think he'd be so hard on me. He must have been in a bad mood today, complained Uncle Gisbert. Well, you know your father's character. Why did you even decide to tell him that? Couldn't you have done something more clever? Mr. Lloyd asked his nephew. But I've been thinking about becoming independent of my father for a long time now. I just wanted to warn him about it. To be honest, I would have liked some kind of support, but it went the same as always. My father only thinks about himself and his reputation. And to top it off, I finally found the person I want to celebrate my birthday with, Gisbert said dreamily. Speaking of birthdays, here, this is my present to you. Mr. Lloyd held out a box containing a laptop to his nephew. And if I'd known you'd ask me for that much money, I wouldn't have given you such an expensive gift. I'd have bought you something cheaper, murmured Mr. Lloyd. Elsa looked around the bus. Gisbert wasn't on it yet. He still hadn't arrived. The girl had written him several messages, but he hadn't answered her. That weirdo vaporized? That fast? Monica asked her friend. No, he will definitely come, he promised me. Elsa decided to stand up for Gisbert. Someone like that could have lied. It's not the first time he's deceived people. Monica didn't give up. I think you have too bad an opinion of him. He's not as bad a guy as he might seem at first glance. He should just be gotten to know better. Elsa continued to defend Gisbert. It's not me who's bad. It's you who's always in the clouds. What good can you find in this man? He's always skipping classes, doesn't socialize with anyone. You know who you should run by the most? A returning student. Monica continued to be indignant. Listen, Elsa, people are wondering where your boyfriend is now. Did you really break up with Gisbert so quickly? Sophia asked as she approached. Guys, wait a minute. You're making up some non-existent story. Who told you that I'm dating Gisbert anyway? He and I are just friends and nothing more. And what makes you think he dumped me anyway? Elsa exclaimed. You see, you're seen together a lot, so everyone assumed you two had started dating, Sophia explained to the girl. Gisbert, you made it after all. It's so unexpected we thought you were going to ignore us again, Malcolm exclaimed, surprised. Yeah, it's not going to be pleasant for you to meet your ex-girlfriend, Steve said thoughtfully. What ex-girlfriend? What are you talking about? Gisbert wondered. Well, about Elsa, of course. Everyone says you two are dating. I mean, have dated, explained Steve. What are you talking about? She and I have never met. We're just friends and nothing more, exclaimed Gisbert. And why don't you want to explain about our relationship to your friends? Suddenly, Elsa appeared beside Gisbert. I have absolutely no idea why you don't want to communicate with me. Why are you ignoring my messages? Have you really turned out to be a deceitful and dishonest person? From now on, I'm going to pretend I don't know you at all, Elsa exclaimed and ran away. Monica froze in confusion, not knowing how to behave in such a situation. At dinner, Elsa had a roast of meat. Many of her friends and acquaintances came over to support her. The classmates were firmly convinced that Elsa had been dumped by Gisbert. They wanted to support the girl. Eliza tried to explain to her classmates that nothing had happened between her and Gisbert, but they wouldn't listen to her. The classmates liked the breakup story better. Elsa glanced toward Gisbert. He was having fun without paying any attention to the girl. Elsa, do you want me to help you with roasting the meat? Theodore approached the girl. No need. There's only a little bit left here and I'll be fine on my own. Elsa replied irritably. She must be in a bad mood because she broke up with Gisbert. Theodore thought to himself. You shouldn't grieve for Gisbert. I heard that he is a very bad man. Theodore liked Elsa, so he wanted to protect the girl from Gisbert's negative influence. Who told you he was a bad person? Why are you reacting to empty rumors? None of it is true, and you shouldn't speak ill of Gisbert. If he hears you say that, he might get upset. Elsa wanted to protect her neighbor as always. Well, it's not just a rumor. There are even people at the university who know some of his secrets. And those secrets are very much not even rainbow secrets, Theodore exclaimed. Elsa, have you grilled the meat yet? Finish the grill soon and come inside. They've already set the table there. Elsa was approached by a classmate. Theodore, explain to me in more detail what you wanted to tell me. The girl was interested in the rumors concerning Gisbert. Look, forget what I told you about. Maybe it's really unnecessary rumors. Let me better help you get the meat into the house. Theodore changed his mind about telling Elsa what he had heard from his classmates about Gisbert. Why did he start this conversation but not continue? What was he trying to tell me? If we hadn't been interrupted, I would definitely have learned some new information about Gisbert. Elsa thought as she looked at Theodore. Suddenly, Elsa's meat was on fire. Gisbert ran up to Elsa and pulled her hand away from the fire. Get away from here. It's very dangerous, Gisbert ordered the girl. Nice try at making amends, but it doesn't work on me, Elsa muttered in a disgruntled voice. Do you want to explain to me how come you dumped me twice? Also, I'm wondering why you're ignoring my social media posts. When did I ever break up with you before? You don't think we're dating, do you? Gisbert asked with a smirk. Okay, I was joking, but I hate that rumors have started flying about us, and I think it's your fault. The girl answered him. People started gossiping about us because of the fact that you only socialize with me. They firmly believe that there's some kind of relationship between us. The truth is, I know you don't like me, and I don't know why, but I'm hurt by the gossip. Are you saying you're disappointed in me? And by the way, what makes you think I don't like you? Whispered Gisbert. I like you, and I like you a lot. And it's your fault, so take responsibility for that. No, wait! Why do I have to take responsibility? Are you playing a joke on me again? What kind of jokes are you so stupid? What a strange man! Elsa exclaimed and hurriedly hid in the house. I guess I've just been rejected, Gisbert thought annoyed. And why are you sitting here alone? Where am I now, Elsa? Did you say some nonsense to her again? Monica approached the distressed Gisbert. Have you never thought about the fact that you should be more polite and tactful? There are already some strange rumors about you around the university. And stop hitting on Elsa. A lot of people assumed you were in a relationship and broke up recently. But we did break up. For good this time. In a sad voice, Gisbert answered the girl. As soon as the classmates found out that Gisbert had finally broken up with Elsa, they immediately surrounded him with warmth and care. Theodore watched from the sidelines. Gisbert's phone received a message from Elsa. The girl asked him to go out into the yard. Gisbert, don't you think you're being too rough with Elsa? Theodore asked unexpectedly. He didn't like the fact that Gisbert quickly forgot about his girlfriend and abruptly switched to his classmates. He introduced himself in a very windy manner. And what the hell is this? You want to go back to talking about our breakup again? I've explained throughout the evening that Elsa and I are just friends, and I'm a little busy right now, so let's talk about it next time, shall we? You can deceive those around you all you want, but I know you have a pretty bad temper, and you're a pathological liar. I've seen you confess to Elsa that you like her, but now I'm convinced. It's all a lie, replied Theodore. Look, let's really continue this conversation next time. You've had a lot to drink tonight. You're drunk. Gisbert absolutely hated talking to Theodore about Elsa. You don't have to tell on me. I'm sober as a whistle. Please don't do this to Elsa. If you keep this up, I'll tell my classmates that you were a real bully in high school, shouted Theodore angrily. Wait, how do you know about that? Gisbert wondered. Still, I should have discussed his confession of his feelings for me with Gisbert back then. But why did he say to take responsibility? It all sounds so ridiculous. Elsa was waiting for Gisbert on the bench. But do we even need to meet? I could get in trouble. What happens if I go on a real date with him? What if Miss Jones doesn't like that we started dating? I mean, she asked me to be her son's friend, not his girlfriend. So, what should I do now? Should I start dating him for real, or should I reject him? Of course I don't want to date him. But if I reject his feelings, won't that hurt him? Ben saw Elsa grab her head in despair. The girl was obviously in some kind of trouble. You're shivering. You must be freezing. What are you doing out here alone in the cold? Ben asked the girl. He took off his jacket and threw it over Elsa's shoulders. I just wanted to be alone, to think about my own, Elsa replied. I've already heard about it. I'm aware of everything. Classmates are gossiping that you broke up with Gisbert. Well, are you really going the same way? How many times do we have to go over this? I've explained several times that Gisbert and I are just friends. There's never been a relationship between us, and it's unlikely there ever will be, the girl exclaimed irritably. Ben, I want to ask you one question. You have a lot of experience with girls, right? Answer me. How do you react when a guy tells you he likes you? The girl asked in a calm voice. Telling a girl that he likes her can have several purposes for guys. Some say it sincerely, others joke that way, and still others want to start dating. We need to find out why a guy would say such a thing. Ben replied. Was it Gisbert who told you he liked you? Ben asked unexpectedly. You misunderstood me. This isn't about me right now. It's about my friend. She's the one who's having relationship problems right now. Since she is my close friend, I want to help her. Elsa started to justify herself. I see, but there's something I want to tell you, too. Do you remember that you were going to buy me food next week? You also said you were going to invite Monica over and we'd have dinner. Well, I just want to be alone with you. I want to get closer to you, Ben confessed. Elsa's eyes widened with surprise. Of course, she knew that Ben liked her, but she hadn't expected him to take an active role. You shouldn't have to listen to such things, said Gisbert and covered the girl's ears. You called me and I came. Ben, why are you playing these games again? Gisbert asked. What are you talking about? What games are we talking about? Ben wondered. Why are you pretending you don't know? You're the only one in this university who knows about my past, aren't you? I know, so what? I didn't say anything to anyone, and if there are any rumors surrounding your person, again, it's entirely your fault. You should watch your behavior. Ben replied to his buddy. I'm sorry to interfere with your squabble, but I think I'd better leave, Elsa exclaimed unexpectedly. You shouldn't go anywhere. It's Ben who's going to leave now. He's the student council representative, so he has a lot of work and responsibilities. He doesn't have time to chill on a park bench. Smiling at Elsa, said Gisbert. You're right. I have to go. But know this. Elsa has been waiting for you on this bench for quite some time. I decided to show her some compassion, so I sat down. Try to be on time next time. Then, Elsa, I'll see you next week, Ben said to the girl and went about his business. Hey, Ben, get your jacket. Gisbert tossed his friend his windbreaker. Ben, I don't care what you're up to, but I'm not going to let you ruin it this time. So try not to go too far. Think what you want about me, but I didn't do anything, said Ben to his buddy. When Ben returned to the house, he learned that there had been a scuffle between Gisbert and Theodore. Tell me what happened, Ben asked Theodore. I did the right thing. I told that asshole not to do that again. I know Gisbert is a bad man. I heard what you and your buddy were talking about the other day. You said he's a real bully. And you're right. He is a scumbag, Theodore exclaimed. So, you're the one who told Gisbert he was a bully? I wondered what he was getting so worked up about. But I gotta tell you, you're wrong about this situation. You shouldn't have told Gisbert you knew his secret. Ben said in a calm voice. After hearing our conversation, you drew the wrong conclusions, which is why you got into this story. I think you should apologize to Gisbert. You have absolutely no idea what he was like in high school and why he acted the way he did. Why do those two, when they meet, immediately start fighting? Do they have some unresolved issues? Should I ask them directly? Elsa thought as she looked at Gisbert's profile. Not only are you late for the meeting, you're also picking a fight. Elsa was indignant. I don't understand why you guys fight all the time at all. What happened between you two in high school? Do you want to tell me? Ben and I used to be very close. We could even be called best friends. I've known him since I was a kid, but now our relationship is completely different. This man screwed me over big time once, Gisbert replied. But that's all in the past. Now I'm living a completely different life. Ben taught me a great lesson. After talking to him, I choose my social circle carefully. I now know that people can't be trusted. But let's not talk about that anymore. We have to move on. Hell, now Gisbert probably hates people who cheat on him. If he finds out that I work for his stepmother, it will break his heart. How much unhappiness has that young man been through? Elsa felt like a real traitor. I've been thinking about what you said all night, and I've decided we'd better stay friends. We shouldn't go out with you, said Elsa. Somehow I thought you didn't want to go out with me. But why did you confess your love to me 2 weeks ago? What's changed since then? You see, I'm a rather amorous person. I really liked your face, so I decided I loved you. But as time went on, my feelings faded, and I realized that I liked your looks and nothing more. Elsa confessed, and Gisbert laughed out loud. Okay, I heard you. The only problem is that in the meantime, I've managed to fall in love with you. So let's continue our communication with you, acting the same way we did before, suggested Gisbert to the surprised girl. Well, what if our communication doesn't work out? What happens if I reject you? Elsa asked. I'll keep trying. But I could turn out to be a bad person. I could pass on to you and hurt your heart. Are you ready for that? Elsa asked. I trust you. I trust that you would never hurt me. You're a good person and you're not capable of meanness. And even if something bad happens in our relationship, I think things will work out in the end. Approaching Elsa, said Gisbert. And why do you keep motioning toward me? You make me feel uncomfortable. Elsa exclaimed and pulled away from the guy. I can't tell you no, so do what you want. But I won't be responsible for the fact that maybe you'll be disappointed in me, said Elsa and got up from the bench. I'll only be disappointed in you if you run away from me. Anything else can be endured. In a soft voice, Gisbert told the girl. Going to the institute, Monica thought about her ex-boyfriend. He kept sending her messages and kept asking her to restore the relationship. The girl did not understand why he could not get away from her. The situation irritated her very much. Suddenly, it started raining. Monica remembered that she had forgotten her umbrella at home. Suddenly, someone opened an umbrella over the girl's head. Turning around, Monica saw Chandler, Elsa's roommate. Although Elsa tried to be friendly with Gisbert, she still kept her distance from him lately. The girl rarely responded to Gisbert's messages and refused to have lunch with him. Gisbert noticed that his buddy Chandler was actively texting with someone. And who are you always talking to on messengers? You don't even talk to me that often. Did you get a girlfriend? Gisbert asked his buddy. I'm texting with our neighbor, replied Chandler. What do you mean? Gisbert wondered. And since when did you start consorting with our neighbor? Exclaimed Gisbert. I lent her my umbrella a couple days ago. Now we're making arrangements for her to give it back to me, Chandler explained to his buddy. Tomorrow we'll meet her at the university and she'll give me the umbrella. She even promised me coffee. What a sought-after girl. Ben's arranged to meet her next week. Chandler's going to buy her coffee and she's ignoring me, Gisbert thought to himself. She probably catches guys on the hook, then dumps them. That's why she said I was bound to be disappointed in her, that she wasn't really that good. Gisbert suddenly realized. Why do you look so pale? There's nothing going on between us. I just met her outside and it was raining, so I lent her my umbrella. And you know I have absolutely no time for dating right now, Chandler reassured his friend. And what is it that you do that's so special? You think I don't know you're living with me because my stepmother is paying you to do it? Asked his buddy Gisbert. Yes, thanks to your mother. And I may not have to work, but that doesn't mean I don't have to study. Chandler answered him. Monica, why are you carrying an umbrella? Wasn't it supposed to rain today? Elsa asked, noticing the umbrella in her friend's hands. This umbrella was given to me by your neighbor, and today I promised him I'd give it back to him, Monica explained. Listen, how about after you return my neighbor's umbrella, you join Ben and me? It's just that I promised to buy him coffee today. I'll feel more comfortable with you around. I won't be able to join you because I promised your roommate I'd buy him coffee. So let's deal with Ben on your own sometime. And if you don't want to hang out with him, you better say so, Monica advised her friend. In the courtyard of the university, Monica met her ex-boyfriend, Chad. I knew you'd ever want to buy me coffee, Chad said, and snatched the plastic cup from the girl's hands. If you want to see me next time, call me beforehand. It's certainly nice to see you, but there are different situations in life, Chad asked the girl. Walking out of the university, Chandler saw Monica arguing with some young man. Chandler walked over to the arguing couple and nudged the guy with his shoulder, as if unintentionally. The coffee cup fell to the pavement. Can't you even see where you're going? Chad exclaimed indignantly. Didn't you smudge your white t-shirt? Monica asked Chandler fearfully. Why are you even talking to him? Can't you see the coffee spilled on me? Chad raged, squeezing Monica's hand painfully. Suddenly, Monica kicked Chad in the knee. I told you several times to let me go. Didn't you hear me? And apologize to that young man for pushing him, Monica ordered Chad. A tired Chandler realized that he probably wouldn't be going home anytime soon. He'd been accidentally dragged into a lover's quarrel. He just wanted to get his umbrella and go home. He'd been studying hard for exams for days on end. Well, what's to come is what's to go. I told you to let me go, didn't you hear me? You're the one who crashed into that man. You owe him an apology. Monica was indignant. You can't just pick me up and hit me. Chad was indignant, rubbing his bruised leg. I warned you to let me go. I have nothing more to say to you. Why are you being so clingy? Monica asked. You think I'm some kind of joke? I've been trying to be nice to you from the beginning, and I'm not asking for anything special. I just want to talk to you, said Chad, getting up off the ground. Chad gingerly reached out to the girl. He wanted to reassure her and make her feel comfortable. Monica wrapped both hands around the umbrella. This story had to end. Chad had to be told somehow that it was over between them. Suddenly, Chad's arm was intercepted by Chandler. There's that guy again. And why does he always show up at the most opportune moment? He's already helped me out a few times, Monica thought to herself. Chandler turned to Monica and asked her how she was doing. Had Chad done something to hurt her? Why did you decide to interfere in our relationship? Why do you meddle where you're not asked? You don't even know anything about our problems. Chad was indignant. I know you broke up because of your mistake. I don't need to know more than that, replied Chandler. Let me go. I get it. Understand me too. I was just trying to clear the air. But you apparently didn't even know about it. I think Monica was too harsh in her post about me. And I wonder if she regrets it. Chad explained his position. Am I sorry? You must be out of your mind. I've told you more than once that I didn't write it, Monica exclaimed indignantly. Well, if you didn't write it, then who did? Shouted Chad. He noticed people coming out of the university starting to look in his direction. Because of the post on the internet, he had become a laughingstock. Chad had no doubt that Monica had written that post, but he couldn't prove anything. So Chad decided to end this conversation and get as far away from the university as possible. There was no need to draw any more attention to himself. Take your umbrella. And thank you for your help. Monica handed Chandler his umbrella. You're welcome. I interfered in your conversation because of the spilled coffee, Chandler admitted. Well, if that asshole soiled your clothes, let me buy you new ones. You don't have to worry about me. I can wash my shirt. Chandler replied to the girl and headed home. Monica stared at the back of Chandler as he walked away. She really wanted to continue talking to him. She was worried that it was the last time. There was no telling if they would ever see each other again. After hesitating a bit, Monica ran after Chandler. Catching up with the guy, Monica grabbed his bag. Elsa sat across from Ben. The restaurant was quite cozy. Smiling waiters were walking around. The food smelled nice. But for some reason, she felt uncomfortable. Still, it would be great if Monica could join us, said Elsa. She really wanted her friend around at this point. Ben was a nice guy, but for some reason, Elsa didn't feel comfortable around him. Sometimes I think he wants to get into a relationship with me. I really hope he doesn't embarrass me tonight by saying I'm cute or pretty. Elsa thought hopefully. Elsa, when you eat, you're so cute, said Ben. Elsa threw in her fork on the table and rose abruptly from her seat. The girl's hands involuntarily clenched into fists. Ben had said exactly what she didn't want to hear in any case. I need to step away right away, said Elsa to the surprised boy. He told me that, after all. This whole thing is so awkward. Maybe Monica's right. He does like me, after all. What am I supposed to do about it? Elsa thought wistfully, looking at her reflection in the mirror. I mean, I always considered Ben my friend. I never considered him a boyfriend. I always avoided him because I was uncomfortable talking to him about our relationship. Elsa came out of the ladies' room and walked with a firm step towards the table where Ben was sitting. The girl decided to finally discuss the current situation with her friend. There was no need to avoid this conversation any longer. Everything should be discussed once and for all. It would be easier for both of them. Elsa sat back in her seat and asked Ben if he liked her. I recently heard that you were going to enter into an unofficial relationship with Gisbert, but for some reason you can't do it yet. Did I get the situation right? Asked Ben in surprise. Elsa sat silent, not knowing what to answer. Also, I know you're doing part-time work. It was Gisbert's stepmother who asked you to do it, Ben went on to say. Gisbert's phone received a message from Elsa. The girl asked him to apologize. Strange, and what is she apologizing for? Gisbert wondered. Chandler came home to change his clothes. And where do you think you're going? Inquired his buddy Gisbert. I decided to have lunch with our neighbor today, replied Chandler to his surprised buddy. So that's what Elsa's apologizing for. I'm her backup. Gisbert thought to himself with some resentment. In the beginning, Ben interacted with Elsa as a joke. He didn't want to build a serious relationship with this girl. Ben just wanted to have fun with her. He even found a part-time job for her to get closer. But talking to Elsa gradually drew Ben in. She was attractive not only externally, but also internally. Ben was upset by the fact that Elsa had gotten close to Gisbert. As soon as Ben learned that they had broken up, he immediately decided to act. And if I admit to you that I like you, what happens then? Ben asked Elsa. Ben, I'm sorry, but this kind of socializing makes me uncomfortable, Elsa admitted. Are you uncomfortable because it's me? Are you personally uncomfortable with me expressing my feelings? You say you're uncomfortable with me, but if it was Gisbert sitting in front of you, would things be different? Ben asked. You can't officially date Gisbert at the moment because of your part-time job. Does he know what your part-time job is, or are you keeping him in the dark? My part-time job is no secret, but I still don't want Gisbert to know about it. I'll be extremely grateful to you if you don't say anything to him, asked Elsa. Okay, I'll keep quiet, but you have to do one favor for me. I want you to help me get close to Gisbert again. I'm not forcing you to. Even if you refuse, I'll keep your secret. And this is what he calls asking for a favor? It's more like a threat. No matter how you look at this situation, it looks like Ben is up to something. I really hope he keeps his word and keeps my secret. Elsa thought to herself. When she approached the table where Gisbert was sitting, Elsa noticed a girl standing next to him. She asked the guy for his phone number. Well, that's no surprise. Gisbert is a good-looking guy after all. I can't wait for him to reject her handsomely, Elsa thought as she watched the scene. Of course I'll give you my phone number, Gisbert answered the girl, which shocked Elsa. Elsa sat down next to Gisbert and took a can of his drink. The guy resented that a girl shouldn't show up out of nowhere and take his stuff. Don't be mean, I'll buy you more, Elsa answered him. Why did you give that girl your phone number? Elsa asked. She tried not to show that this situation hurt her. She saw me give my phone number after all. Now she's pretending that she doesn't care about me and that this situation hasn't hurt her at all. Gisbert thought to himself with a smirk. Yes, I gave her my number, but I don't use it anymore. If I hadn't, she wouldn't have left so quickly. And I'll tell you honestly, that girl is absolutely not my type. Laughing merrily, Gisbert said. Though Gisbert was handsome, Elsa had no thrill of desire to be with him. To test her feelings, the girl placed her hand beside Gisbert's arm. What are you doing now? Gisbert asked, surprised. The girl had to lie to him that she was just comparing the size of his hands to her own. But it is done differently, said Gisbert and held his hand up. Elsa put her palm to the palm of the boy's hand. I envy you. With such big hands, it's easy for you to grab all kinds of things, Elsa remarked. As the girl expected, she felt no emotion from touching Gisbert. Suddenly, Gisbert squeezed the girl's hand tightly. I won't leave you a chance to escape this time, said Gisbert, looking intently into the girl's eyes. Eliza felt her heart racing. Elsa tried to run away so Gisbert wouldn't see her red face, but the guy grabbed her bag. Why are you running away from me again? Gisbert asked. What makes you think I'm running away from you? I just remembered I have things to do, Elsa objected. Since you're not avoiding me, then let's go to school together, Gisbert suggested. No problem. We'll do it your way. We can go with you to college together tomorrow. Elsa agreed. In the morning, Elsa felt extremely tired. This night, the girl didn't sleep well. She dreamed about Gisbert all night. Why do I keep thinking about the way he held my hand? I must be a real pervert, Elsa thought to herself as she locked the apartment door. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I just took a really long time to find my phone. A smiling Gisbert walked up to Elsa. Wait, why are you so pale? Are you sick? Asked Gisbert, reaching out his hand. He wanted to see if she had a fever. It's okay, I feel fine. Elsa hurriedly dodged. She didn't want Gisbert touching her again. Elsa knew that next week there would be a midterm exam, so she had to take her studies seriously. The girl tried to pull herself together and tune in to the lesson, but she couldn't do anything. What's wrong with me today? It's probably because of Gisbert sitting next to me. When he's around, I can't stop thinking about him. Suddenly, Gisbert turned to the girl and offered her lunch. What lunch? We're in class right now. Wake up and listen carefully to what you're being told. Elsa tapped Gisbert lightly on the shoulder with her fist. She was back to her old self, and I was worried that she didn't like holding hands with me. And about her infatuation with other guys, I shouldn't worry. Elsa isn't the kind of girl who will date several at once. Gisbert thought as he looked at a focused Elsa. After class, Gisbert and Elsa went to the library. They decided to prepare for the exams together. Gisbert offered the girl to sit next to him, but she hurriedly refused. If he was next to her, she wouldn't be able to concentrate. Ben came over to their table and asked permission to sit down next to Elsa. And I don't want you to sit with us. Gisbert grumbled unhappily. But I have no interest in what you want. I don't think Elsa would mind if I sat next to you, Ben said with a smile. And why are you smiling like that? Asked Gisbert suspiciously. See, he freaks out when I'm around you, whispered Ben in Elsa's ear. I'm really begging you, don't do this, don't annoy him, Elsa asked Ben in her mind. I'll go get us something to drink. Elsa, do you have any requests? Gisbert rose from his seat. Elsa ordered a single iced Americano, and Ben asked for a double espresso. Gisbert suggested that his friend buy his own drink. I realized Ben came here to pick a fight with Gisbert. I thought he wanted to get closer to him. Ben must have some devious plan. Elsa guessed. Walking up to the barista, Gisbert placed his order. He bought a very strong coffee for Ben. He was angry at his friend for interfering with his communication with Elsa. Gisbert wanted to prepare for the exams with Elsa alone. I don't have much money left, and now I have to buy coffee for that creepy Ben. And why does he keep hanging around Elsa? What does he want from her? Gisbert thought irritably as he walked back to the table where Elsa and Ben were waiting for him. Gisbert, I need to talk to you. Theodore suddenly appeared behind the boy. I'd like to apologize for that incident. I'm sorry for what happened at that picnic. Bowing his head, Theodore said, You apologized. I forgive you. I have to go. I have people waiting for me. With a cheerful smile, Gisbert exclaimed. He absolutely did not feel like socializing with Theodore today. Gisbert was worried that he would say something unnecessary to that guy. Well, why on earth did he come down on my head? I can't stand him. Then again, I don't know what Ben and Elsa were talking about while I was buying coffee. I should hurry up. Irritated, Gisbert thought to himself. When Gisbert returned to the table, he saw Ben and Elsa chatting animatedly. Do you remember what you promised me yesterday? Ben asked the girl. And what has she had time to visit him already? On top of that, we chatted with her in the park yesterday. When did she have time to meet Ben? Gisbert thought in surprise. Gisbert increasingly felt that Elsa wasn't serious about him. He thought that the girl was socializing not only with Ben, but also with his buddy Chandler. This is your coffee, Gisbert said irritably, putting the drinks on the table. Gisbert, why are you looking at me so strangely? Elsa asked. The girl noticed Gisbert's irritated look. I'm leaving. I've got some errands to run. Gisbert picked up his backpack from his chair and headed home. Why is he leaving so quickly? Did he take offense at something? Why has his mood changed so drastically? Elsa thought to herself as she stared at the back of Gisbert. Ben, I got the impression you came to the library to pick a fight with Gisbert. Why were you acting like that? Elsa asked Ben as they left the library. I relate to him now the same way I did in the old days. We used to jerk each other around a lot and borrow money, explained Ben to the girl. You probably care for Gisbert if you're so worried about him. And I've noticed that this isn't the first time you've acted this way. I also got the impression that after talking to me, you went to meet with Gisbert. Did something happen between you two? No. What makes you think that? I just happened to meet him in the park on my way home. The thing is, we live in the same neighborhood as him. Elsa hastened to explain herself. Then why were you looking so intently at his hands? Were you holding hands with him? And you know, Elsa, you're in big trouble because you're absolutely no good at lying. All your emotions are written all over your face. Am I really too obvious? When Gisbert is around me, I stop controlling myself and forget about everything in the world. I have to keep reminding myself that Gisbert is my job. Elsa thought to herself wistfully. Elsa had no idea that someone was watching them from around the corner. Anyway, I'm glad that you and Gisbert are developing a relationship. But please keep your promise. By the way, Gisbert next to you is acting weird, too. He seems to have serious intentions for you. Elsa bought some cooked food and came to Gisbert's apartment. The girl wanted to communicate with him about today. She did not understand how she could offend him. Who are you, anyway? Asked Chandler as he approached his apartment. He didn't expect to meet a strange girl at the door of his house. I live in this apartment, Chandler explained, noticing the girl's surprised look. That can't be. You probably have the wrong address. This is where Gisbert lives. Elsa objected to the stranger. That's right. Gisbert is my friend and we live together, Chandler explained to the girl. And I'm your neighbor. I live in this apartment. Elsa pointed to her door. Chandler was surprised to hear this because he thought Monica was his roommate. Elsa had to explain to Chandler that Monica is her friend. She doesn't come here very often. Then I can see why Gisbert was so surprised when he found out I was texting his roommate. I've unwittingly become the destroyer of their already shaky relationship. Chandler thought sadly to himself. Did Gisbert say anything to you about me? Chandler asked the girl. No, why? Elsa inquired, surprised. The thing is, there's been a misunderstanding. I told him I had lunch with you yesterday, Chandler admitted. What do you mean? Elsa didn't want to believe what she was hearing. Now I could see why Gisbert was acting like this. Gisbert didn't understand how it happened that he was attracted to a girl who didn't take him seriously. Turns out he's Elsa's third. On top of that, she's hanging out with these guys in front of him, and all of these guys are his buddies. She must have some principles, mustn't she? Gisbert thought irritably and pounded his fist on the table. It seemed to Gisbert that in this relationship, he was constantly pulling the girl towards him. Unfortunately, he couldn't break it off. He had grown attached to Elsa. But I can play hard too. Elsa should experience for once the emptiness I feel. Hey, you two, for the future, if you want to fight, just talk and fight. Monica, who was sitting between Gisbert and Elsa, exclaimed. The girl noticed that these two's relationship was changing every time they met again. If you want to stay together, just say you want to stay together. So why are you always fussing? If you're in a fight right now, then sit away from each other. Why do I always end up in between you? Elsa, do you want to tell me what's going on between you two? Monica asked her friend. I don't know anything about that either. It was Gisbert who misunderstood something. I promise you I'll explain the whole situation to you a little later. Elsa didn't want to talk about Chandler in front of Gisbert. Returning home from class, Monica thought about her friend. Elsa had become more private lately. She rarely talked about herself. Monica had the impression that her friend was hiding something. Monica, hi, is Elsa and Gisbert not dating anymore? We saw her with another man the other day. Monica was approached by her classmates. They wanted to hear the latest news firsthand. First of all, nothing ever happened between Elsa and Gisbert. Secondly, I don't think she's seeing anyone because she has absolutely no interest in romantic relationships, replied Monica to her classmates. Then how are you going to explain this to me? A classmate exclaimed and jabbed her finger in the side. Turning around, Monica saw a surprised Gisbert and Elsa, who was chatting sweetly with Chandler. Why are they together? Monica wondered. I don't think even Monica knew about this. When did Elsa meet a new guy? Wow, Elsa's so good. She's dating several guys at once. The classmates gossiped amongst themselves. Hey, that's not true. You don't have to say that about Elsa. I've known her for a long time. She's not like that. Yes, the situation may look strange, but I believe there is an explanation for it. Monica rushed to stand up for her friend. You may know Elsa, but I'm not sure she tells you everything about herself. And on top of that, I didn't say anything bad about her, just pointing out that her behavior surprises me, replied Monica to her classmate. So after leaving home, Gisbert came to live with you? Elsa clarified to Chandler. I would be extremely grateful if you would tell me all the latest news about Gisbert. I want to know what's going on in his life, asked the girl to Chandler. Why would she want to know about Gisbert's life? Does she have a part-time job like me? Chandler thought to himself. Listen, why don't we have lunch together when you get a free minute? We can take Monica with us, Elsa suggested. The girl knew that Chandler liked her friend. By having lunch together, the two could socialize with each other. No, Chandler replied briefly. To be honest, I don't want to cross paths with Monica anymore. I feel uncomfortable around her, Chandler admitted. Chandler didn't realize that Monica had heard his last sentence. It had hurt her deeply. Monica decided to call attention to herself. She called her friend's name. Why are you two together? Monica asked her friend. I wanted to talk to Elsa about something, so I met her here. But since we've already talked about it, I'm going to go, Chandler said, and headed towards his house. He really doesn't want to hang out with me. He's probably really uncomfortable with me, Monica thought to herself with annoyance. How do you two know each other? What were you just talking about? Why did you meet without telling me? Monica just flooded her friend with questions. Elsa told the girl that she had run into Chandler by chance last night. He turned out to be a friend of Gisbert's. With Chandler's help, Elsa wanted to find out something about Gisbert. Gisbert decided to enjoy the warm spring day. He bought some street food and sat down on a nearby bench. Theodore sat down next to Gisbert. He was still eager to discuss what had happened at the picnic. I've told you several times that what happened at the picnic is long past. I've already forgotten about it. But since you want to be useful to me, answer me one question. How do I apologize to the girl for my mistake? Asked Theodore Gisbert. Why don't you want to give her some kind of gift? Girls love gifts, don't they? Theodore pointed out. And that's a good idea. You're not useless after all, praised Theodore Gisbert. As soon as Theodore left, Monica sat down with the guy. She wondered why he was still talking to Elsa, even after their breakup. Huh, socializing? It's hardly socializing. She's always running away from me, Gisbert said with a laugh. I don't know what's going on between you two, but I only recently found out that Elsa is friends with Chandler. Lowering her head, Monica told me. And how do you know Chandler? Gisbert wondered. The girl told him how she had met Chandler when she came to visit Elsa. It's your fault those two got close, Gisbert exclaimed. No, it has nothing to do with me. Logically, he's your friend, so Elsa knows him because of you, Monica objected. Wait, so you were the one crying that day? Chandler was the one who gave you the candy? And it turns out he was the one who had lunch with you the other day? Slowly, the situation began to become clearer in front of Gisbert. I guess so, why? Then that explains a lot. I've been getting myself worked up for nothing. Now I can make things right. Thanks to you, I was able to clear up this misunderstanding. Thank you for your help. Gisbert was grateful to fate that Monica had sat next to him and helped him make sense of the situation. By the way, if you're interested in Chandler, just tell me about it and I'll help you bond with him. He can be tough sometimes, but I know what strings to pull to get him to like me. Elsa, hi. I want to tell you something. I miss you. I want to come to you right now, said Gisbert into the phone. The guy decided to act. Everything needed to be discussed, once and for all. Elsa was happy to see Gisbert, only he was acting a little strange. Surprisingly, he was extremely silent. Gisbert, you called and told me you wanted to see me, that you missed me, and now you're silent. Is something wrong? Elsa gently touched the corner of Gisbert's mouth. I thought you'd be glad to see me. Come on, smile. Elsa stretched the corners of Gisbert's mouth, making a semblance of a smile on his face. I'm just embarrassed to see you after a few days apart, Gisbert confessed to the girl. I haven't seen you in over 3 days. Did you miss me? You're the one who first misread the situation and started ignoring me. But I want to tell you that all this time I've been feeling devastated. Elsa decided to stop playing the silent game. Now she would talk openly about her feelings. Elsa was approached by her classmate Juno and warned the girl that there were some nasty rumors about her. To be honest, I don't care much about what people say about me. We have an exam today, and that's what I want to focus on. The girl replied to her, I know you never react to rumors, but are you really going to keep quiet this time too? Juno exclaimed in surprise. And Elsa has nothing to worry about. There's always someone around to take care of her. And don't look at me like that. I'm not being sarcastic, said Margot, walking up to Elsa. What's wrong with her? Margot has never talked to me like that before, Elsa thought in surprise. Looking around, Elsa noted that her classmates' eyes were directed in her direction. Walking down the corridor, Elsa heard her classmates whispering. They gossiped that Elsa was a windy girl and liked to date several guys at once. Some said she was only dating Gisbert for his money. Meeting Elsa in the college courtyard, Gisbert suggested that the girl go to the park and watch the cherry blossoms bloom. How can you just talk about cherry blossoms like that? Do you even know what's being said about you? Asked Elsa, grabbing her head. All the gossip and rumors were making her head spin. Well, I've heard I'm rude and have no manners. But you don't have to worry about that. It doesn't bother me, shrugging his shoulders, said Gisbert. How can I not worry about that, since all these rumors are because of me? I heard today that I'm dating you for money, and that I'm no stranger to socializing with other guys. I've been called a wind-up girl. All these rumors are bad for your reputation. But you know what I'm really like, don't you? You also know your strengths and weaknesses. Why do you care what people say about us? Gisbert asked the girl. But I didn't like it when people slandered you. I hope no one ever insults you again. I felt awful when I realized you were doing it because of me, Elsa admitted. I don't want anyone slandering you either. I have unpleasant memories with gossip. I want to resolve the situation somehow. I'll make sure that my classmates stop spreading false gossip about us. Gisbert promised the girl. But I don't want you to prove anything to anyone. Just leave it at that, Elsa asked. Don't you want me to take care of you? Gisbert asked the girl. Elsa answered him that gossip related to her was her problem, and she was used to solving her own problems. A few days later, Monica told Elsa that classmates had started bullying Gisbert in recent days. I also learned that Gisbert is constantly picking fights for no apparent reason. Many say his behavior has deteriorated dramatically. Elsa guessed that Gisbert was picking fights with anyone who spoke badly of him or his girlfriend. Elsa really wished that Gisbert would stop acting like that. Wouldn't it be better to leave it alone? Or is he acting this way because of his past? Ben, you know Gisbert well. Tell me about his past. Elsa asked her buddy upon meeting him. Ben promised to tell about Gisbert's past, but he didn't want to do it for free. The girl promised to buy him a cup of coffee for the information. There are quite a few bad rumors about him. You know his mother is a celebrity, right? She used to be quite popular and very beautiful. She used to shine on TV screens 15 years ago. Ben began to narrate. Gisbert doesn't like to be the center of attention. He usually has a couple people in his entourage. He often has enemies who speak ill of him. I'd like to point out that this time the problem isn't as serious as last time. I think that if you leave Gisbert alone, he will figure things out for himself. I don't want to reveal all his secrets. I think it's up to Gisbert to tell you about his past. Elsa used to think that she had time to get to know Gisbert well, but after hearing Ben, she realized that this is far from true. She knows absolutely nothing about this guy. She doesn't even know his past, who his parents are. Elsa got on the internet to find out as much information as she could about Gisbert's mother. From articles from the internet, Elsa learned that Gisbert's mother had died several years ago. Immediately after her death, his father hastily married his mistress. It turns out that he communicated with her while his wife was still alive. And yet it's interesting that as soon as she stopped dating Gisbert, she immediately switched to Chandler. It's all so easy for her. I think she was intimidated by Gisbert. Elsa's classmates were gossiping about her in the ladies' room again. I'm wondering how on earth she manages to seduce such handsome guys. Guys like her are pretty obvious. It's not like she can't just seduce them. There must be something else. With a smirk on her face, Margot said. Suddenly, the door of one of the cubicles opened, and an irritated Elsa came out to the girls. On other days, Elsa would have simply ignored those words. But today, she was in a completely different mood. And what's so special about me seducing handsome guys? Maybe you can tell me, Elsa demanded of her classmates. From the group chat, Gisbert learned that Elsa had gotten into a fight with her classmates in front of the women's restroom in the main hall. They even posted pictures of the fight in the chat room. Gisbert hurried back to the college. He couldn't let Elsa get into trouble. The next day, Elsa came to college with bruises and abrasions on her face. Why did you do that if you don't care about gossip? I thought I was going to faint when I saw the group chat yesterday. Monica resented. I couldn't sit still because Margot kept saying stupid things. I don't think ignoring her is the right decision. I can't let the rumors continue to spread. Elsa confessed to her friend. But I absolutely cannot understand since when you started to be bothered by what people around you say to you. You've been very serious lately. Maybe something happened? Monica asked. Elsa didn't want to socialize with anyone today, so she decided to go to the pub by herself. Unfortunately, there were classmates in the pub, so the girl constantly heard judgmental whispers. Elsa was approached by the head of their group and began to resent that such behavior was inappropriate for a girl. The headmaster thought she was overconfident. It was not acceptable to let violence flourish in college. I think it's a misunderstanding. You shouldn't have touched Margot. She's still in shock after your fight. That's why she didn't come to the meeting today. I also heard that you keep saying bad things about her. I think all the problems are because of your behavior. I don't think I did anything wrong. Margot's words brought me great trauma. I believe that verbal violence is also a kind of violence. And if you keep talking to me like that, I'll say you hit me, Elsa warned. The head of the group froze in surprise. He had not expected such a development. What are you talking about now? You're just making things up. You don't even have proof that Margot said anything bad about you. I demand that you apologize to her, exclaimed the headman. Enough! I think you're making a big deal out of it. I want to assure you that I heard what Margot was talking about too. She was gossiping that Elsa broke up with Gisbert and switched to me. And that's not true, said Ben, who had come over to the table. Don't try to improve your relationship with Margot with this scandal. Try to be more reasonable, Ben whispered in the headman's ear. Ben turned to all the classmates present in the pub and asked them not to touch any more of these unpleasant rumors and gossip. After all, every man has his faults. Afterwards, he asked Elsa if she could go out into the courtyard with him for a moment. I still can't believe you picked a fight, Margot. And why did you only grab her hair? Without holding back a laugh, Ben asked, Thank you so much for sticking up for me. If it wasn't for you, it would have been hard for me to calm down the headman. You're welcome, because I'm also involved in this story. Just explain to me why you did it. Such aggressive behavior has never been seen before. Is it because of Gisbert? Ben asked the girl. You shouldn't be upset with him, because he doesn't belong to you. You shouldn't stick up for him. He's not likely to appreciate it. Ben warned the girl. Back in the pub, the girl continued to drink alcohol. Elsa realized that all this time, she was involuntarily waiting for Gisbert. She wanted to talk to him, to hear words of comfort. How I wish Gisbert would at least call me. It's been a few days since the last time I saw him. Elsa whispered, looking at her phone. Gisbert received a message from Elsa. The girl asked if he had time to miss her. Monica decided to call Chandler in for a cup of coffee. She really wanted to talk to him. Are you uncomfortable with me? Monica asked. To be honest, I do. I don't know how you feel about me, but I don't have time to date anyone right now, Chandler admitted to the girl. I'm really saddened by what you said. You really don't want me to call you? And if you don't like it, then just tell me that, Monica asked. Sorry. Chandler purposely avoided seeing the girl because he realized she would ask such unpleasant questions. You're not going to answer my questions? Even if I don't like the answer, I won't worry about it for long. I want to hear the truth from you, Monica insisted. It's hard to say this after I said I wasn't comfortable with you, but still. Have you eaten yet? Chandler asked unexpectedly. Although he felt uncomfortable around this girl, he still didn't want to let her go. Walking out of the pub, Elsa sat down on a bench. She fed herself for sending Gisbert a text message. How would she look him in the eye afterward? Suddenly a tipsy Chad approached Elsa. Hear me out. I can't forget about Monica. I bought Monica flowers today, but I saw her chatting with another guy. How could she forget about me so quickly? Chad asked the girl in a drunken voice. Look, I don't think you and I should hang out. First, you're drunk. Second, Monica doesn't want to hang out with you anymore, and you can't change her mind. Elsa tried to get away from this strange type as fast as possible. Why is it that I've been getting so many weirdos in my life lately? Why do I have to listen to his drunken ramblings? Elsa thought with an ambush. But you owe it to me to help me. You're Monica's best friend, said Chad, grabbing the girl's bag. Gisbert suddenly appeared and pushed Chad away from Elsa. He covered the girl with his body. Who the hell are you anyway? Why are you stopping me from talking to Elsa? Shouted Chad loudly. Chad swung to punch Gisbert in the face with his fist, but tripped over a rock and fell to the sidewalk tiles. Same thing every time. A heavy sigh was muttered by Gisbert. Elsa, why aren't you answering my phone calls? You have no idea how long I've been looking for you, said Gisbert to the girl. And what happened to your face? Did that guy hurt you? Did you go to the hospital? Maybe you should go to a trauma center? Gisbert began to scrutinize the girl's face. Elsa felt uncomfortable that Gisbert had brought his face too close to hers. The girl gently pulled away from him. You shouldn't get so close to me. I reek of alcohol, but that's a good thing. In case of anything, everything can be blamed on alcohol afterward, said Gisbert, squeezing the girl's hand tightly. Even for the best, and if you don't remember what's about to happen. And yes, I missed you. Hey, everybody. It's been a while since I've been out downtown near the university. There's a lot of people here because it's a college campus. I'm going to visit my friend now, and then we'll continue the stream afterward, shouted Bradley into the camera. Bradley had been trying in vain for months to raise his number of subscribers. He needed a scoop. It would be great if Gisbert got involved in a story again. He'd definitely keep his audience interested. Theodore was glad that he was able to film the fight between Chad and Gisbert. In the beginning, Theodore thought that Gisbert was a bad person. He knew that Gisbert bullied kids at school. He wanted to prove to everyone that Gisbert did not deserve respect. But as time went on, Theodore's attitude toward Gisbert changed. The boy behaved calmly and tried not to get involved in trouble. In spite of the situation at the picnic, Gisbert treated Theodore kindly. Suddenly, someone pushed Theodore under his arm, and his phone fell to the pavement. "I see you filmed something really interesting," Bradley exclaimed, picking up Theodore's phone from the sidewalk. "Listen, how do you know Gisbert? Are you a henchman of his?" Bradley asked, after handing the phone back to Theodore. "Why I ask this is because a lot of people get seduced by Gisbert's kind attitude and start following him. If you've fallen into the same trap, then by all means, dial me up." Bradley held out his business card to Theodore. "And remember, I've known Gisbert for a long time, so I'm familiar with his black side." "It's been a month since your son hasn't come home. You're not worried about him? Maybe you should give him a call," Victoria asked her spouse. "Forget it. When he runs out of money, he'll come home on his own. If he doesn't want to come, he can find a part-time job. I'll take this opportunity to overcome his bad temper," Mr. Jones replied. "I want my son to have a hard time in life. Only then will he realize how much I've done for him. When he's in dire straits, he'll come crawling to me on his knees." Gisbert is having money problems. He has very little money left on his card, and tomorrow he has to go on their first date with Elsa. He can't take her to an economy restaurant, can he? Gisbert wanted to pay for the fare with his credit card, but he didn't have enough money on his balance. For two. Gisbert heard a familiar voice. "You look like you're in trouble," Ben remarked. "Thank you for paying my fare. I'll pay you back a little later," assured his buddy Gisbert. To make some money, Gisbert put his uncle's laptop for sale. After a while, a buyer was found. The only thing the guy didn't expect was that the buyer would turn out to be Elsa. To hide his identity, Gisbert pulled a hood over his head. "You're the one selling the laptop, right? Can I check it out?" In a frightened voice, Elsa inquired. This strange guy seemed extremely suspicious to her. "What am I supposed to do now? It's not like I can take money from Elsa so I can take her out on a date for the same money," Gisbert thought to himself. "I just changed my mind about selling my laptop," exclaimed Gisbert. He grabbed the bag containing the laptop and ran out of the back alley. "This guy is very strange. There's something wrong with him. By the way, his silhouette looks familiar. I have the impression that I know this person well," the girl thought in surprise. Elsa pulled out her cell phone and dialed Gisbert's number. Gisbert heard the phone in his pocket play. "And I recognized you, no matter how you disguise yourself," Elsa exclaimed happily, running up to Gisbert. Elsa realized that Gisbert had no money, so she offered to host their first date at her apartment. "Aren't you being a little reckless in bringing me to your place?" Gisbert asked the girl. "I was just suggesting you watch a movie. I don't see what the big deal is." With a nonchalant face, the girl replied. Elsa reached out to pick up her laptop from the floor. Gisbert gently tucked the girl's hair behind her ear. "Now don't you regret bringing me to you?" Looking intently into the girl's eyes, asked Gisbert. "Can you close your eyes?" whispered Gisbert. Elsa covered Gisbert's mouth with her hand. "I'm not in the mood today because you tricked me," said the girl. "You're a pervert and you have only stupid things on your mind." Elsa lifted the laptop off the floor with a sudden movement. "Are you doing this on purpose? Are you mocking me?" Gisbert exclaimed unhappily. During the movie, Elsa snuggled up to Gisbert and fell sweetly asleep on his shoulder. I guess she really doesn't like romance. She should have picked a different genre, like horror. And isn't she snuggling up to the man she called a pervert before? Gisbert thought to himself. Now how am I supposed to ask her out? Suddenly, Elsa stirred and bounced away from Gisbert. She was outraged that the boy had let her sleep on his shoulder instead of waking her. The phone on the table played. It was her sister calling. She was wondering if Elsa had been able to buy a laptop for her. "Was that your sister calling?" clarified Gisbert to the girl. Elsa told him that her sister used to be kinder and more malleable. Now she was turning selfish. "It's great that you and your sister have a good relationship. I'm jealous that you're so close. I don't have that kind of relationship with my sister," Gisbert admitted. "Please give your sister my laptop. I don't need it at the moment. I don't use it. Besides, I couldn't sell it to you anyway. I can't charge you." "I've been wanting to ask you a question for a long time. Why is a rich man like you living under the same roof as Chandler?" Elsa asked. "It's quite a long story. Remember when I suspected you of moonlighting? That's exactly how Chandler moonlighted. He was in the same class as me in high school. It didn't take Chandler long to start working for my stepmother. Since he can't lie, I figured him out pretty quickly. We've been friends ever since. We agreed that we would keep the fact that I knew about everything a secret." "And how did he manage to get that part-time job?" Elsa asked. "I don't know how my stepmother got involved with him, and to be honest, I'm not even interested." "Gisbert, what would you do if it turned out I worked for your stepmother the same way?" Elsa asked again. "Why do you ask that?" Gisbert asked suspiciously. "Why are you so excited? You don't even know what this job is. Why are you so interested in it?" "It just surprised me that you, knowing about the deception, are still friends with Chandler." Elsa decided to continue the conversation another time. At this point, she wouldn't have the chance to admit to Gisbert that she was also working for his stepmother and had been for quite some time. "I started being friends with Chandler because we had been in contact with him for a few years before that. I knew him very well. Everyone else working for my stepmom was using me for money. I didn't believe in the sincerity of what they were saying." Suddenly, someone rang the doorbell. Elsa went to open the front door, and Gisbert hurried to hide in the girl's bedroom. To find something to do, Gisbert began to explore Elsa's bedroom. A shelf of books caught his eye. Gisbert reached for one of the books. Suddenly, a photograph of someone fell to the floor. "Gisbert, hide quickly. Monica's here to visit me. She likes to come into my bedroom." Bursting into the bedroom in a loud whisper, Elsa ordered, "Can you believe I ran into Chandler on the way to your place? He helped me carry these bags. In the bags are the groceries my mom made. She really wanted to treat you." Monica told her friend. "Look, since we have food ready, I suggest we all have dinner together." Elsa's refrigerator was in her bedroom. Chandler brought the food prepared by Monica's mom into the room. The guy wanted to help the girl, so he decided to put the food in the refrigerator. On the floor near the refrigerator, Chandler found a picture of Gisbert. Why is this picture here? Where did Elsa get it? Why is it just lying on the floor? And does Gisbert know about it? Chandler wondered. Suddenly, Chandler's eyes fell on a clothes rack. He thought he saw someone hiding behind it. Gisbert looked out from behind the coat rack and gestured for his buddy to ignore him. "What's that asshole doing in Elsa's bedroom?" Chandler wondered. Chandler came out of Elsa's bedroom and told Monica that he had a wild desire to have dinner alone with her. They needed to get out of that apartment right away. "By the way, Elsa, I want to talk to you about something tomorrow. I'll see you in class." When Monica and Chandler left, Gisbert sat Elsa on the bed and took her hands. "You had to hide. I'm sorry for that. Why are you being so nice to me now? Why aren't you mad at me?" Elsa asked. "Because I like you. Do you like me?" Gisbert reached out and fixed Elsa's hair. The girl admitted to him that she had recently begun to like him too. Gisbert snuggled up to the girl and kissed her on the lips. Elsa looked into the history room. She wanted to see Gisbert. "Looking for me by any chance?" whispered Gisbert, who had appeared beside the girl. "And why are you here? Why aren't you in class?" Elsa exclaimed happily. Gisbert hadn't been in touch with her since this morning, so she was worried that she might have offended him in some way yesterday. I'm sorry for making you worry. So did you make sure I'm okay? I'll be off then, said Gisbert and wanted to go into his office, but the girl stopped him. Wait, don't we need to talk about what happened yesterday? The girl asked, surprised. And what happened yesterday? Are you really talking about our kiss? Gisbert inquired of the girl. Are you out of your mind? Why are you being so loud about this? Elsa hurriedly covered Gisbert's mouth with her hands. With a firm hand, Gisbert pulled the girl's hands away from his face. You don't have to worry about me, I'm fine. I just have absolutely no time to socialize today. I'll see you a little later. Why do I feel like Gisbert is avoiding talking to me? Has he found out that I work for his stepmother? Elsa thought wistfully to herself. Monica noticed that her friend was upset about something. It surprised her because everything had been fine last night. Elsa, is there anything you want to tell me? Maybe something happened in your life that I don't know about? Monica asked her friend. Elsa decided not to keep her secret any longer, but to spill her soul to Monica, at least for starters. Wait, I want to check something with you. Is it your job to get close to Gisbert and tell his stepmother about his life? Now, do you feel like Gisbert is starting to figure that out? Monica clarified. You got me right. I've been wanting to quit this part-time job for a long time now, but I can't do anything about it. I feel really sorry for Gisbert, and I'm already confused about my feelings for him. I don't know what to do at all. Elsa complained to her friend. I don't see what the problem is at all. If you like Gisbert, then stop hanging out with his stepmother and develop your relationship with him. And if you don't like him, then break up with him. Shrugging her shoulders, Monica said. Victoria got a message from Elsa again. The girl wanted to see her today. Hey, I didn't think you'd ever come back here, Victoria said with a raised eyebrow. You can rejoice. I'm going to go home, said Gisbert to his stepmother. Elsa got a message on her phone from Gisbert. He asked her to have lunch with him. At the table, Gisbert was rather quiet. He seemed to be in a bad mood. Gisbert, is something wrong? Why are you so sad today? Elsa asked. Elsa wanted to comfort Gisbert with a touch, but the boy pressed her hand against the table. Sorry, I'm a little tired today, said Gisbert, removing his hand. If you're tired, then why did you call me? If you have nothing to say to me, then we'd better get out of here then, the girl exclaimed indignantly. Gisbert went to the cash register to pay the bill. I called you because I need to tell you something. We need to part ways, said Gisbert to the girl as they walked outside. I don't think I could stand what you're going to tell me, so I've decided to cut this short before I like you even more. Gisbert, why do you keep running away from responsibility? The girl asked irritably. How shameless you are, after all. You wanted to cut things off with me, and yet you kissed me. If you didn't want to hear what I had to say, you didn't need to cover my mouth with your lips. You should have just said so. On top of that, it was my first kiss. I guess you could say you ruined it. I'm completely disappointed in you. I understand why you say that. I believe my words may hurt you, but why don't we start over? Yes, we haven't had a proper date yet, but we can keep dating, Elsa suggested. No, you understand absolutely nothing, Gisbert objected to the girl. But you and I haven't even officially met. Why don't we see the cherry blossoms first? You always said you wanted to see it, Elsa exclaimed. Wait, you're totally confusing me now. You used to avoid me all the time, and now you want to be with me? Gisbert asked the girl. Suddenly, Elsa stood on tiptoe and kissed Gisbert on the lips. I like you, Gisbert, so I've decided to seduce you. I suggest you go out with me one more time. Stop this circus, let's go home. Turning away from the girl, said Gisbert. Elsa peered into Gisbert's face from behind his shoulder. Are you aware that you're blushing right now? It looks really cute. It's too early to go home, so I suggest you go on a date. To cheer Gisbert up, Elsa took him to the toy machine. He won a pair of headbands with animal ears. Elsa decided to take some cute pictures with these ears. Have you noticed that it's the same face in every picture you take? It's like it's been copied and pasted into a new picture. Do you look the same in every photo, even in your passport? Elsa asked. Gisbert decided to put a couple of pictures in his wallet. Suddenly, a picture fell out of his wallet onto the sidewalk. Is this your family photo? Elsa asked, looking at the photo. You were so joyful and radiant as a child. You look a lot like your father, and you have a beautiful mom, Elsa remarked. That's why I turned out so handsome, Gisbert said arrogantly. You seemed so close then, so why don't you want to go home? Elsa asked. This picture was taken a long time ago. A lot has changed since then. My mother died, and we rarely saw my father because of his work. I have a pretty rough relationship with my stepmother. Gisbert confessed to the girl. When Gisbert was little, he really didn't want Victoria to be his father's spouse. This woman seemed to him evil and insolent. For many years, Gisbert had never been able to get along with her. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you had such serious family issues. Now I'm not surprised why you're living at Chandler's. It's okay. And by the way, I went home today. That's why I have my wallet in my hand again. Elsa was glad she hadn't been able to get to Victoria's today. If she had gone to her, she would have run into Gisbert. I wonder why her facial expression changed after I told her I went home. Maybe she's worried that we're going to see her less often. She's probably afraid I'll move out on Chandler, Gisbert thought. Don't worry. I'll continue to live with Chandler. My father keeps trying to send me to study abroad, but I've made a deal with him that I'll stay here for now. To reassure the girl, Gisbert covered her hand with his palm. When Elsa opened her eyes, she saw a sleeping Gisbert in front of her. Elsa looked under the blanket. She was wearing last night's clothes. But what had happened last night? The only thing Elsa remembered was that Gisbert had offered her a drink. Most likely Gisbert helped Elsa get to the hotel room. That's why they ended up in the same bed. Hey, Gisbert, wake up! Why are we here? Elsa tried to rouse the boy. Don't touch me. I want to sleep. I couldn't sleep last night because of you. Grudgingly, Gisbert muttered. Or don't you remember at all what happened yesterday? Well, since you don't remember anything at all, I'll remind you. You don't have to avoid responsibility by pretending to forget everything. Suddenly, there was a knock at the room. When Gisbert opened the door of the room, he saw his uncle on the threshold. The man was extremely annoyed about something. Gisbert and Elsa had to go to the guy's father's house. It turned out that yesterday at home, Gisbert had stolen his father's card and spent a decent amount of money from it. You want to tell me you're not my son's girlfriend, but you ended up in the same hotel room together? How do you explain that? What is your relationship with him? Mr. Jones asked Elsa. Elsa was uncomfortable sitting at the same table with Mr. Jones and Victoria. I know what I did was wrong, but I don't think you should have broken into our room. You can only imagine how surprised Elsa was to see my uncle on the doorstep of the room this morning. Gisbert decided to take the hit. I'm sorry, I was wrong, but understand me, too. You were out somewhere partying all night last night, and then you went to your room for the night. What could I possibly think? And I don't understand why you didn't come to our house, said Mr. Jones to his son. And I want to repeat my question again. What kind of relationship are you in? The man asked Elsa. The girl told him that with his son they were only friends. Friends, you say? I dare say you and he are having a casual affair. You meet him periodically and it doesn't look good. In a calm voice, Mr. Jones said to the girl, Of course he sees our relationship as a casual affair. I was just caught with his son in the same room. I really hope Gisbert's father doesn't misunderstand me. Elsa thought sadly. I want me and Gisbert to be okay. We're seeing him for nothing to me, Elsa said in a firm voice. Elsa, you must be scared. I want to let you go home, and I think you've already made your position clear to us. I think we should have a private conversation with Gisbert. Victoria interrupted the girl. Come on, Elsa, I'll walk you to the main gate, said Victoria, rising from her seat. Father, I want to spend Elsa too, so let's talk to you about this topic a little later, said Gisbert, jumping up from his chair. That's the reason you came home, right? Mr. Jones asked his son. I don't know how long you've known her, but don't you think you went to the inn with her too soon? Or is that normal these days? I swear to you, nothing happened between us. You heard what Elsa said. She and I are just friends. We went to the hotel room since we got drunk and couldn't make it home. Gisbert began to justify herself to her father. Good luck, son. I liked that girl. When Gisbert left the parlor, Mr. Jones thought to himself that it had been a long time since he had spoken so calmly to his son. Still, his relationship with the girl had done him good. "I apologize for not telling you about our relationship," said Elsa to Victoria as they walked down the hall. The girl noticed that there were pictures of Gisbert's father and his new wife, as well as their joint daughter. There were no pictures of the deceased wife or son on the walls of the corridor. "Gisbert has stopped taking pictures since middle school. As you may have noticed, he's not close to his father or me. For that reason, I have to hire people to be there for him," Victoria explained. "I think that if he has a friend, it will be easier for him in this world. Also, friendship helps to build a relationship with his family. I really hope that Gisbert will come home and get on good terms with us. But you don't have to worry about that. Your part-time job is over. I think you're going to be his girlfriend soon, so it's going to be kind of hard to combine that and your job, and I don't think it's right. To be honest, I envy you. You're the only one Gisbert's gotten close to. But if you want to get closer to your stepson and are happy to have a trusting relationship with him, why did you insist that I come yesterday, since you knew Gisbert was home?" Elsa asked Victoria. "Mom, look, I just hurt my knee." A pretty dark-haired girl ran into the hallway. "Elsa, I'm sorry. Let's talk to you next time. Right now, I need to treat my daughter's wound. If you wait outside for a while, our secretary will take you home," said Victoria to the girl. "And about your question, I asked you to come as I knew Gisbert was going to leave. I don't think you and he would have run into each other here. If you don't mind, let's have lunch with you next time." It went pretty well after all. We didn't get scolded too much, and I was finally able to get my part-time job over with. Elsa thought to herself as she headed for the main gate of the house. "Elsa, I'm glad I caught you here. I was afraid you had time to go home." A cheerful Gisbert came up to the girl. "Gisbert, can you please answer me? Who are we really to each other? Are we just friends, or are we already dating? Can I call you my boyfriend?" Elsa asked. "I can't really call us a full-fledged boyfriend and girlfriend. We have a rather odd relationship," answered the girl Gisbert. "By the way, try to remember the night before. You told me yourself that you and I can't date yet. We only need to maintain a semi-relationship, so you can safely call me a half-boyfriend. If you want, you can hold me with one hand on my arm and hold on to the other guy with your other hand." Continuing to smile, said Gisbert. Gisbert put his arm around the girl and drew her to him. "Since I'm your half-boyfriend, I can't kiss you fully. I can only kiss you on your bottom lip," whispered Gisbert to the girl. "You're laughing at me, aren't you? By the way, doesn't it bother you that we are now in the courtyard of your house and we can be seen by your relatives?" Elsa also asked in a whisper. "You're right after all, I didn't think of that. Let's go down to the garage with you and see, and if my uncle is there," suggested Gisbert to the girl. "Did we have a fight last night? Do I look like I was annoyed?" Elsa asked. "You got drunk and we had a little fight, but then we ate and started our semi-relationship," told the girl Gisbert. Gisbert found his uncle in the car. Elsa noted to herself that the man was rather quiet. The girl felt uncomfortable around him. Elsa received a call from Monica. The girl was worried that her friend hadn't picked up the phone for a long time. "I haven't been able to reach you since last night. Where have you been all this time? I even came to your house, but I didn't catch you there." Monica spoke indignantly into the phone. "I beg your pardon, is your name Monica?" asked the girl by an unknown guy with glasses. Entering the apartment, Elsa saw her younger sister Unita there. "Listen, how do you live in this apartment? When I came here yesterday, I saw a complete mess. I decided to pay you a visit since you haven't picked up your phone since last night," grumbled Unita. "Sorry, I didn't see that you called me because my phone was off. I slept over at a friend's house that night, so I couldn't clean the house." Elsa began to justify herself to her sister. "Admit it to me, did you get a boyfriend?" Unexpectedly, my sister asked. "I don't believe you spent the night at a friend's house. I called Monica yesterday and she wasn't home. She was out all night with her classmates. You don't have any close friends besides Monica." "I don't think you should hide your boyfriend from me. I'm sure we'll run into him sooner or later." "You don't need to worry about my love life. You better get on with your studies," said Elsa to her persistent sister. "Didn't your mom tell you? I left the academy. I have a dream. I want to become a celebrity. I want you to help me promote myself," Unita announced. "You know I'm pretty cute, so I'm sure I'll make it work. I've even thought of a plan. You'll lend me some money and I'll enroll in acting school. I'll work part-time on weekdays to pay you back as soon as possible. Since the courses in acting are near your house, every weekend I'll live here. If I become a famous actress, you won't have to work anymore. I know you're not going to make it. I won't give you any money. The acting idea is total crap." Annoyed, Elsa told her sister. The girls heard a knock on the door. Elsa thought it was her mother. Opening the door, Elsa saw Gisbert. "I didn't come because I missed you. You left your barrette at my house. I had no choice but to bring it to you." Unita was glad that her suspicions were confirmed. Her older sister had a boyfriend after all. "Hi, are you my sister's boyfriend?" Unita asked Gisbert. Elsa introduced Gisbert as her neighbor. "And this is my sister. She's here to have fun." Elsa introduced her younger sister, Unita. Taking the hairpin, Elsa slammed the door in Gisbert's face. "You purposely pretended it wasn't your boyfriend because of me, right? But it was still a bit rude to kick him out like that after he came all the way here," Unita said snidely to her sister. "And please explain to me how you could leave your hairpin in your neighbor's apartment. You realize that doesn't sound plausible." "Unita, there are too many unnecessary words coming from you. I promise to think about your acting classes, but I have one condition," said Elsa to the girl. "Don't worry. I won't tell my parents anything about your boyfriend," Unita promised her sister. "I have another condition. You must score 70 points in your exams. If you don't, you won't get any money," said Elsa to her sister. Elsa had a new problem. She needed to find a new part-time job as soon as possible. Her parents could hardly afford Unita's tuition. Gisbert called the girl by name, but she did not answer him. Elsa continued drawing various patterns in her notebook. "Elsa, why aren't you answering me? Haven't you noticed that we're the only ones left here after class?" Gisbert yanked her notebook out of the girl's hands. Looking into the notebook, Gisbert noticed that the girl was keeping a record of her expenses. "Doesn't Elsa have enough money my stepmother pays her?" Gisbert wondered. "I can't understand. Are you going to work more? Is the pay for your part-time job so low?" Gisbert asked the girl. "I needed money unexpectedly for a gift for my sister and mom," Elsa replied. She couldn't tell Gisbert that she had lost her well-paying part-time job. Now she needed money. As expected, she won't tell me anything. When will Elsa start to trust me? And the worst part is, I like her more and more every day, Gisbert thought to himself. "I noticed that your list is missing one important item. You have absolutely no time set aside to meet with me." In an aggrieved voice, Gisbert said, "Are you and I dating and obligated to spend time with each other regularly?" Elsa wondered. Suddenly, Elsa jabbed her face into Gisbert's chest. "Don't talk to me in such a soft tone. It embarrasses me. You don't know the whole truth about me. What if I'm just seducing you?" Elsa asked. "You're good at this," Gisbert admitted to the girl and kissed her hand. Ben and Theodore entered the office. Gisbert and Elsa pretended that nothing was happening. "Are you two dating?" Ben wondered. "Yes, we are dating. Just please keep it a secret. We just started our relationship," asked Elsa. After class, Gisbert and Elsa decided to go to a movie. Elsa put her hand on Gisbert's arm. "Is something wrong? Is there something you want to tell me?" Gisbert asked the girl. "Nothing's wrong. I just want to hold your hand. You touch me a lot, don't you? I want to touch you, too." Without raising her head, the girl answered him. "You know, that sounded pretty weird. I'll probably go buy us some popcorn," said Gisbert, rising from his seat. "She's kind of weird today, saying amazing things, trying to flirt. She's going too far. Although maybe I'm just getting myself worked up. It's all been pretty sweet, let her go on," thought Gisbert, standing in line for popcorn. Gisbert saw some guy walk up to Elsa. His face was hidden by a hood. The girl asked him to leave, arguing that she had a boyfriend and would not like him like that. "It doesn't matter to me. Don't you remember me? You and I have met before. I guess my face didn't make a good impression on you. Then take my card. Maybe it will help you remember me," said the guy to Elsa. Gisbert walked over to the guy and snatched the business card out of his hands. Then he crumpled it up and threw it on the floor. "Damn my card! You're just as rude as you were before," the guy exclaimed. Ignoring the guy's yelling, Gisbert took Elsa's hands and led her into the theater hall. "Well, it's good to see him anyway," said Bradley, taking off his hood. "I've noticed you've been hanging around the college lately. What are you doing here?" Ben asked Bradley. "Firstly, I am also studying here, and secondly, I have come up with a great idea for content. I want to tell the public a shocking news about a celebrity from the past. I want to start with a close friend of his." "You know who Gisbert's mother is, don't you? Who is she?" Bradley asked. "I don't think you should bring it up," Ben said thoughtfully. "I think you should. I mean, that's the reason I got expelled from school, and someone used the money to get away with it," Bradley reminded his buddy. "Do you remember who was chosen class president all the time because he was a good student? What makes you think you're any better than me? Do you remember who started it all back then?" Whispered in Ben Bradley's ear. "Okay, don't go pale. You don't want to bring up the past, don't bring it up. But just remember, I have a traumatized psyche. I need to be more careful with me." Bradley patted his buddy on the shoulder. "Remember, you and I met a strange guy at the movie theater yesterday. Do you know him?" Gisbert asked the girl at lunch. "No, first time I've seen it," Elsa answered him. "He looks like a real asshole, so try not to socialize with him. I'm just worried, so I'm asking you to be careful." Elsa sat down next to Gisbert. He was wearing glasses today, so he looked extremely cute. She was also pleased by the fact that Gisbert showed concern for her safety. Today, Gisbert decided to spend the night at his buddy Chandler's house. His relatives came to his house, with whom he did not want to communicate at the moment. "You're dating Elsa?" Without turning his head, Chandler asked his buddy. "Well, we're almost in a relationship." "Why do you ask?" Gisbert inquired. "The thing is, I found this picture in Elsa's room. I think she's doing part-time work. It's the same picture I saw in your house. I think this picture was given to Elsa by your stepmother." Chandler held out to his friend the picture previously found at Elsa's house. "You shouldn't have told me that. I've known for a long time that Elsa was doing part-time work." In a calm voice, Gisbert replied. "You know she works for your stepmother, but you keep dating her?" Chandler asked, surprised. "Recently, Elsa wanted to tell me all about her part-time job, but I wouldn't let her. Anyway, she's not like other weird people who moonlighted like that," explained Gisbert. "So Elsa is different, unlike a weird employee like me?" Chandler asked irritably and clenched his hands into fists. "You've got it all wrong. I mean other workers besides you. I'd forgotten you used to moonlight. You may have worked for my stepmother before, but you and I are real friends now." Gisbert threw his hands up in the air, disarmed. "Wait, now you're socializing with me for a part-time job, am I reading that right?" asked Chandler in surprise. Suddenly, Chandler got angry and kicked Gisbert out of his apartment. "You can't kick me out of the apartment that easily. We signed a contract with you. You keep working and I get to stay at your place." Gisbert resented. "There are no arrangements anymore. I left my part-time job." Chandler answered him and slammed the front door shut. "Where am I supposed to go now? I don't want to go home," Gisbert muttered under his breath. Elsa heard a noise in the hallway, so she cautiously opened her front door. "Did they kick you out?" Elsa asked Gisbert, sitting on the floor. The guy admitted to her that he had just gotten in a fight with Chandler, and now he had nowhere to go. The girl offered to let him stay at her place for the night. Elsa bedded Gisbert on the floor next to her bed. Gisbert couldn't sleep. He kept mentally returning to his conversation with Chandler. His buddy was right. He didn't know anything about Elsa. Could she really be dating him for the money? What are her real motives? "Gisbert, are you asleep?" Elsa asked in a whisper. "No, why?" Gisbert asked. "If you're awake, let's just chat with you," Elsa suggested. "That's a great idea. I was just thinking about you just now. I want to get to know you better. I want to know everything about your life, your dreams, your desires, your goals in life, Gisbert confessed. Well, what can I tell you about myself? I'm 20 years old. I have a younger sister. My parents own a small restaurant in the countryside. My father was recently in a car accident. He's going to have a long treatment. Things are not going smoothly at home right now, so I go to different part-time jobs to help my family. It feels good to just talk to you like this. I'm really interested in getting to know you. Is there anything you like or would like to do with me? Gisbert asked. Yeah, I want to go to the amusement park. The last time I went there was when I was still in high school, Elsa confessed. Huh, it's been a long time since I've been to an amusement park, too. I didn't have any real high school friends, so I didn't have anyone to go there with. There were people around me who only hung out with me because my stepmother gave them money. With a laugh, Gisbert said, You know what I was just thinking? If I go part-time with you, we can spend more time together. Gisbert rose from the floor and lay down on the bed beside the girl. He held her tightly against him. Gisbert, there's something I want to tell you. I like you, Elsa confessed. So our new employee is your friend? Elsa asked her boss. You know, you two look really good together. When I first saw you two, I was sure you were going to start dating. I'm glad you did. This is his first part-time job, so please be nice to him, Elsa asked. Throughout the day, Gisbert was assigned a variety of jobs. He washed dishes, swept the floor, and wiped down tables. By the end of his work shift, Gisbert was extremely exhausted. Listen, I feel like I'm about to die of fatigue. How much do you make per hour? Asked Elsa Gisbert. The girl told him a modest sum. Well, how much does my family pay you then? Gisbert inquired. Elsa did not hesitate to name the sum with and without the bonus. Only a moment later did she realize that she had fallen for Gisbert's trick. Why take a second part-time job when my family pays you that kind of money? Or did you quit that part-time job too? Why didn't you ever tell me that before? Gisbert asked. But you never gave me that opportunity. Whenever I started to talk about it, you would immediately change the subject. I would definitely tell you about my part-time job, just a little later, Elsa explained. Hey, you two. You shouldn't just be talking in the middle of the hall. Better go to the nearby supermarket and get some groceries, asked the cafe hostess. Elsa was glad that her boss had interfered in their conversation. The subject was extremely unpleasant for her. Elsa realized that she should have told Gisbert about her part-time job months ago. In the doorway of the cafe, Elsa ran into a young, elegant girl. Maybe I should excuse my style to look as good as she does, Elsa thought to herself. The girl walked over to Gisbert and ordered an iced Americano from him. Gisbert, is that you? The girl was surprised to recognize the barista as her acquaintance. What kind of nonsense is this? Did your family go bankrupt? Why are you working here in this unremarkable cafe? But anyway, I really missed you. And tell me about yourself, please. Do you have a girlfriend? Yes, I have a girlfriend. And if you don't want anything besides coffee, then please leave, asked Gisbert. And you've changed. And who is your girlfriend? Does she work at this cafe too? Did you and her meet at this place? The girl inquired. Her boss ran to Elsa and asked her to return to the cafe as soon as possible. There was some unforeseen situation with Gisbert. Only Elsa could defuse the situation.